Guys, very good morning. Sorry, we have taken 6 minutes. Okay. Now, how many we have? Right. Okay. You all can hear me, right? Now, can you hear? All right. Okay. Super. Right. So, what I'm gonna do today, because there are a couple of areas where we need to take up the assignment. Others can hear, right? Anoja, Nisansala. Okay. There are two from KDC. Okay. Anoja, Nisansala, you all can see the screen also, right? Nidida.
Yes, sir.
Nidida.
Yes, sir.
ඈ නිදිනේ දැන් ඇඳේ ඉඳගෙනමත කොහෙද හැමම ලොග් වෙලා ඉන්නවා කමන්නේ කොහොම හරි ලොග් වෙලානේ ඒක වටිනවා right here guys why I want to take it today because anyway we started the discussion on assignment day එතකොට අපි මේකේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න ඕන පොඩි පොඩි areas ටිකක් තියෙනවා මට areas ටික cover කරා නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එක part එකක් cover කරන්න පුළුවන් so that is the reason I thought of taking whatever the areas that are there in the module 3 and 4 to the front. එතන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට task by task ඉවර කරගන්න පුළුවන්. But before that, what I'm going to do, I'll be completing the module 1 today with the final chapter of the brand equity. Right, අපි module 1 එකෙන් කරන්නේ කොහොමද introduction එකට යන්නේ evolution එක කොහොමද history එක කොහොමද මොනවද concepts branding වලට තියෙන concepts මොනවද ඔය ටිකනේ අපි module 1 එකෙන් යන්නේ. ඒතර module 1 එක I'm going to complete today with the final part of brand equity. ඒතර brand equity එකෙන් පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට ලබන සතියේ ඉඳලා module 2 එකට යනවා but module 2 එකටත් වඩා module 3 එකේ items වගේක් තියෙනවා ඕගොල්ලන්ට assignment එකට. So we'll be taking that area today since you all can start the assignment after that. මොකද මොනවා කරතරන්නේ assignment එක දාගන්න බැරුණොත් එහෙම. අපි මොනවා කරතරන්නේ අන්තිම assignment එක දාගන්න බැරුණොත්. Okay, let me take you all quickly on whatever the areas just to summarize, right? Just to summarize whatever the areas we were talking about so far. හරිද? So give me 1 minute. We did the introduction to brand management. We did the introduction to brand management and we identified, okay, the history also, how the brands were evolving over a period we were talking about. Then we identified, when you look at different eras, right? Indus Valley civilization and how basically the name of the brand came into picture and all these things we identified, and even we were talking about simply how it was given a legal consideration at the very first time. I'm talking about in 1876, the incident which was happening, right? So the world started giving a unique recognition for whatever the brands that are coming up into the market. So the very first logo registration we were talking about, and I was giving couple of links also for you all to refer other than whatever we were discussing today. So just refer them because you all need it, guys. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕනේ කියලා කියන්නේ branding කියන එකේ පොඩ්ඩක් අර ඒ evolution එක ඇගේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි ලේසි මේක තේරුම් ගන්න කොහෙන්ද ආවේ කොහොමද මේකේ ඩෙවලොප් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් කොතනද ඉන්නේ කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි ඒ අර history එක. You don't need to go into an in-depth study. අර නිකන් අර archaeology ඉගෙන ගන්නවා වගේ එහෙම ඉගෙන ගන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. But generally මේක මේමයි evolve වුනේ කියන එක you all need to have an idea. ඒක තමයි මේ how even the Mayan history ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ history එක ගත්තොත් මෙතන කතා කරන Greece history එක how they have basically used it for the pottery industry, right? ඔය branding කියන එක. So Mayan history එක ගත්තොත් one of the very famous මොකක්ද ඒකට කියන්නේ අර civilization in the world. So I mean ඒකේ අපිට ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙනවා how they were using the logos and all these things for trading purpose. I mean it is not kind of a business management concept but how they were using it කියන එක. Generally idea එකක් ගන්න. Logos evolve වෙන විදිය we were talking about නමක් හැදුවාම ඒ නම සමහර වෙලාවට අපි හිතට එන දේ දානවා. Right, brand එකක් develop වෙන්නේ එහෙම overnight brand එකක් එකපාරටම develop. I mean very unlikely, very few global brands are coming up like that, right? So අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම overnight brand එකක් develop වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ, overnight develop වෙච්ච brand එකක විදියට තියෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. brand එකක වුණත් evolution එකක් තියෙනවා because when we study marketing environmental audit එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම brand audit එකේ part එකක් විදියට marketing audit අපි කතා කරනවා. brand audit එක. So එතනදී we identified all the macroeconomic and the microeconomic environments are changing. So with these changes you can't be static. අපිට මේ එකම විදියට ඉන්න බෑ මේ change වෙන environment එක. දැන් බලන්න උදාහරණයක් විදියට දැන් current context එක ගත්තොත් ලංකාවේ. ඒ ලංකාවේ තියෙන current context එකත් එක්ක අපි change වුනේ නැත්නම් අපිට survive වෙන්න බෑ. That is the reality. අපිට survive වෙන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් ඒ survival එක අපි maintain කරන්න නම් අපිට ඒ changes එක යන්න ඕනේ. ඒක brand එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, organization එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, පුද්ගලයෙක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, or whatever the things you are looking at. ඒවත් එක්ක යන්න ඕනේ. competition එක change වෙනවා, political scenarios වෙන්න පුළුවන්, ecological scenarios වෙන්න පුළුවන්, social cultural dimensions වෙන්න පුළුවන්. I mean whatever the areas are changing. ඉතින් brand එකත් ඒකට හරියන්න change වෙනවා. ඒ change වෙලා I mean මේක මෙතනින් නතර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. I mean to say like it's evolving, right? Evolving. දැන් Starbucks එක ගත්තත් ඔය වගේ තියෙනවා. අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම සෑහෙන brands තියෙනවා ඔය වගේ. Johnny Walker, right? So we were talking about them, how these brands were evolving over a period with a small history also. Then ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරා කස්ටමර්ගේ පර්ස්පෙක්ටිව්ස් වලින් කොහොමද මේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් අපි දැන් කස්ටමර්ස්ලා කියලා කියන්නේ මේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් මැනේජ්මන්ට් ගැන ලොකුවට දන්න මේ ලොකු සීන් දාගෙන ඉන්න මිනිස්සු නෙමෙයිනේ කස්ටමර්ස්ලා කියලා කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඕගොල්ලෝ අපි වගේ කට්ටියනේ දැන් අපි බ්‍රෑන්ඩින් ඉගෙන ගත්තේ නැත්නම් අපි මේවා මෙලෝ දෙයක් දන්නේ නැහනේ අපිට නිකන් ওই ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් විතරයි අපිට නිකන් ඔය මේ නමක් විතරයි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි layman language එක. හැබැයි අපි if we are talking about the brand management we need to get into their shoes and feel it. අපි ලොකු මම මේ වචන වලින් කිව්වට අපි සමහර වෙලාවට අපිට හම්බෙලා තියෙන brand managers-ලා ලොකු දේවල් කතා කරනවා. ලොකු ඒ කියන්නේ අර psychology පැත්තෙන් ලොකුවට කතා කරනවා we have to do like this we have to do but they forget about the basics. you know අර ඒ බේසික්ස් අමතක කරලා ඉවරලා ලොකු දේවල් කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. මොකද අපි හැමතිස්සෙම මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ මේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක right whatever we do here the brand we are taking to the consumers and the market. එහෙනම් if we don't have that adaptability and the agility to be with the market so no point of you having all the psychology and all these things. අපි හරි සරල වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මිනිස්සුන්ට බෑ to keep too much of complicated things in their heads right now. So can someone tell me what is the duration of lifetime of a news right now? Lifetime of a news එකක lifetime එක කාටද කියන්න පුළුවන් කොච්චර කාලද කියලා news එකක lifetime එක මොකද්ද නිසංසලා what do you think what is the lifetime of a news නිසංසලා
1 week.
1 week. So what about Anuja? Anuja, what about the lifetime of a news? News?
Depend the news.
Depending on the news. Okay. What is it on average? On average? Generally, on average. Samadhi, what about you? Samadhi, what about you? දැන් මේ අපි බ්‍රෑන්ඩින් කරනකොට අපි හිතනවා රයිට් අපි ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් එක දැක්කම මිනිස්සුන්ට දැන් මේක මත්තකයි එහෙනම් මිනිස්සු මේ අපේ පස්සෙන් එයි දැන් මේක අරගෙන no not like that my dear friends now lifetime of a brand has news has reduced for one day so much of news comes into the field you know අද තියෙන නිවුස් එක නෙමෙයි හෙට තියෙන්නේ හෙට තියෙන නිවුස් එක නෙමෙයි අනිද්දා තියෙන්නේ right එතකොට ඊයේ නිවුස් එක රිප්ලේස් වෙනවා අද නිවුස් එකකින් අද අලුත් අප්ඩේට් එකකින් ඊයේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක රිප්ලේස් වෙනවා අද අලුත් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකකින් so do you think right if we don't simplify whatever we say people will remember no so I mean it is very difficult for them to remember so much of things. So we need to be so simple. We need to be so, we always need to concern from the consumers or the market point of view. So that is the reason whenever we use even the technology and all these things, we try to get into their shoes and develop. ඉතින් හැමතිස්සෙම මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ brand එක හරි it's a subject which is highly connected with the psychology. I'm not saying no, but when you're connecting your target market, you always need to look at from their point of view. From their point of view, sorry. Right, so we identified once again the how this name came up with the Northern Germanic dialects, how this name, the term brand appeared to the world we were talking about. Then we identified how the American Marketing Association and a couple of branding and the marketing gurus are talking about the definition of marketing. And American Marketing Association is one of the leading body in the world when it comes to marketing and the branding. One of the most recognized association in the world. There are some more Canadian Marketing Federation and Australian Marketing Federation and even Asia Pacific Marketing Federation. So like that. So there are different associations. The bodies that are related to those who are basically focusing on developing the fraternity of sales, marketing, and the brand management. So American Marketing Association is one of them actually. Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIM UK, and even Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, right? Now the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing have become an event organization more than the marketing organization, unfortunately. So when you look at things, you just need to look at how they identify the term marketing, brand, and sales. So different brands, we were talking about the different type of brand identification. We were talking about how we use umbrella branding strategy. Blanket family branding, which means across the board, we are using one single brand name. Right, across the board one single brand name අපි use කරනවා. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම Nike ගත්තොත් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට shirt වලට අපි t-shirts වලට වෙන්න පුළුවන්, skinnies වලට වෙන්න පුළුවන්, bottoms වලට වෙන්න පුළුවන්, shoes වලට වෙන්න පුළුවන්, whatever you name it, they put Nike. Umbrella brand naming strategy, or we call it the blanket family branding strategy across the board. හැම product එකකටම එක. අපි HP Dell ගත්තොත් HP laptop වෙන්න පුළුවන්, computers වෙන්න, desktop වෙන්න පුළුවන්, PDS palm devices වෙන්න පුළුවන්, printers වෙන්න පුළුවන්, scanners වෙන්න පුළුවන්, whatever you name it. They are using one brand name, HP, Hewlett Packard. I told you how the name came up, Hewlett Packard, Bill Hewlett and the Dave Packard tossed the coin, and the H came first, then only they decided the brand name, Hewlett Packard. So across the board, whatever the products we manufacture, we use one single brand name. We call it the blanket family branding. Samsung වලත් ගොඩක් දුරට තියෙනවා. අපි electronics ගත්තොත් Samsung, then audio video items ගත්තොත් ඒවා, mobile phones ගත්තොත් mobile phones ඇතුලේ sub brands වගේක් යනවා. එතකොට ඒක combined brand naming strategy එක විදිහට අපි කතා කරනවා. But generally entire portfolio එක අපි ගත්තොත් we look at the blanket family branding strategy එක අපි දකිනවා. Then other branding strategy, brand naming strategy, rather not the branding strategy, brand naming strategy. Api kata kara individual product branding කියලා. Some companies we identified. When you look at the brand hierarchy in certain companies, right? Certain brand hierarchy එක කියලා කිව්වහම අපි ගත්තොත් එමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි හිතමු Unilever කියන කම්පැනි එක ඇතුලේ අපි කියනවා consumer segment එකේ personal care කියන brand segment එක අපි ගත්තොත් ඒක යටතේ තියෙන. දැන් අපි Dove එක යටතේ Dove වල උදාහරණයක් විදිහට තව තියෙනවා නම් sub brands මොනවද කියලා. So entire thing comes in a particular hierarchy. So when you look at that, right, you can identify certain brands are not even bothered about the company they sell. Okay. කම්පැනි එක ගැන ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේවත් නැතුව ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්නේ කියන්නේවත් නැතුව ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්නේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක. අපි ලේමන් කෙනෙක්ගෙන් අහුවොත් කිවි ෂූ පොලිෂ් එක සමහරලාට even හාපික් even හොලික්ස් even නෙස්ටමෝල් කවුද ගේන්නේ කියන එක ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැහැ. කොයි කම්පැනි එකෙන්ද එන්නේ කියන එක ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැති වෙනවා. Dove එක කොයි කම්පැනි එකකින්ද එන්නේ කියලා. දැන් සමහර Unilever products නම් they have started using their corporate name right after the advertisement. Unilever කියලා because they have a good reputation for the brand. Corporate brand identity is huge. So because of that, now if you look at brands like Ratti never talks about never say that they are coming from New Zealand milk or Fonterra brands, previously New Zealand milk product, Fonterra brands. So why? Because the Ratti is trying to connect the local palate. Bring local mindset along with the brand. So Anchor is basically with the Fonterra, New Zealand and all these things, you know. So මේවා දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම you look at even here the Tide Pampers වගේ products අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම, right? ඒවා අපි පැන්ටීන් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය ඒවා අපි ගත්තොත් එimhe සමහරලාට even ලේමන් කෙනෙක් දන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන් from where the Black Knight and all these even Gillette shaving cream, Brute, all these things are coming up. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේක අපි කියනවා individual brand naming strategy කියලා. They don't combine the brand, the company name. So other things, the where you look at the company and the sub-brand together, which means umbrella main brand එකයි sub-brand එකයි දෙකම එකට යනවා, right? We call it combined brand naming strategy. Then Manchi Tikiri Mari, Melbourne Gold Mari, right? Mari කියලා කියන්නේ category එකක්, right? Mari කියන්නේ brand එකක් නෙමෙයි, my dear friends, remember that, right? එතකොට Manchi super cream cracker, right? එතකොට Melbourne something. එතකොට ඒ super cream cracker කියලා ඒ combine කරපු එක. අර මෙන්න මේක parent brand එකත් එක්ක combine කරලා. සම්පත් පුබුදු People's Bank yes අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම. Toyota Corolla, Toyota Aqua, right? You know. So but BMW is a series එකක් කියන්නේ. Number series එකක්. You know. So අන්න ඒක අපි ගත්තොත් එම combined brand naming strategy එකක් විදිහට අපි කතා කරනවා. So මේ එක strategies අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන් naming purpose. If we have, let's say as an example, good corporate image, corporate name. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එම Softlogic ලා දාගෙන යනවා Softlogic Max කියලා. Right? Why? Because they have a good name for corporate identity. අපි එකට කියනවා corporate brand identity කියලා. We'll be discussing that later, right? Corporate brand identity කියලා. Another corporate brand image කියලා. So they are combining that corporate image into the sub brand and promote. Ether people okay මේකත් Softlogic, okay මේකත් John Kills, okay මේකත් Singa, okay මේකත් Abans කියලා. So they are attracted to that. Okay. So because of that. So I was talking about even the retailer brand. අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම private label brand කියලාත් අපි කියනවා retailer brands කියලා කියනවා එහෙම නැත්නම් own label branding කියලා කියනවා. So that are coming up through the supermarket operations, especially the world leading. Carrefour supermarket එක අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම Walmart supermarket එක very famous in releasing their own brands. මොකද people believe those brands, and even if you go to Sri Lankan context, Apico brands තියෙනවා, and Kiehl's Kiehl's brands, Cargill's Cargill's brands, So Laffy is also now coming up with their own brand that products. So what up, retailer brands, why they are looking at from what angle they are looking at from their corporate brand identity connecting with the individual brands. Okay. Laugh එකට යන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක් laugh එක trustworthy. The Kiehl's එකට යන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක් Kiehl's එක trustworthy හින්දා. ආපිකෝ එකට යන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක් ආපිකෝ එක trustworthy හින්දා. Cargill's එකට යන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක් Cargill's trustworthy හින්දා. So using that trust and the credibility what they have built over a period, right? So I mean, they come up with their own brands. They come up with their. I mean, guys, if you really want to know Satosal, I'm saying in 80s, right? I can remember my small age. Okay, so in 80s, early 80s, I used to visit Satosa, right? I'm saying even the Satosa head office, the PETA, and all these places, right? Certain outlets, they had nice looking series of their own brands. And I mean, even the supermarket, the private supermarket were not even thought about those things, right? Nicely packed with Satosa brand name. I mean, the staple goods like even dal, even sugar at very affordable price, right? Their own brands, they were selling their own brands, my dear friends, right? Miris packet එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්, පරිප්පු කිලෝ එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒව ඔක්කොම ලස්සනට පැකට් කරලා තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝගේ සුපර් මාකට්ස් වල තිබ්බේ. මම කියන්නේ 80 ගණන් වල, right? 80 මුල් කාලේ. 81, 82, 83 කාලේ අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම. I still can remember, right? And even the hygiene they were maintaining, my dear friends. දැන් සතොස් එකකට යන්න හිතෙන්නේ නැහනේ, right? Even the hygiene they were maintaining by that time, and even the way they were managing the categories, aisles, I still can remember, but unfortunately now it is not there. So private sector have overtaken the industry with that. So a private label branding මට මුලින්ම හම්බුනේ ඒ කාලේ. but ඒ කාලේ මම දන්නේ නැහැ ඔය private label branding අරකයි මේකයි කියන එක. But when I recall, right, they have like that. They were like that. They were so big. They were so huge in the Sri Lankan context. But politicians were basically spoiling the whole country. So ඒවා අපි private label branding කියලා කියනවා. So ඒ brand naming strategies අපි අරගත්තු. මොකද මිනිස්සෙක් සතොස් එකට ඒ දවස්වල යන්නේ trusted product එකක් විදිහට. ඒ දවස්වල ඔය මේ Kiehl's Cargill's කියන ඒවා මම මතකද Kiehl's supermarkets තිබ්බා පොඩියට. If I'm not mistaken, one type of supermarket I can remember, but I don't know whether it is Kiehl's. But Apico tibba, but not in the supermarket level, right? Apico, I can remember Apico Navin was there by that time in 80s, but not in the massive way like this what we have today. They were having small, but then again not focusing the staple goods mostly. They were focusing their Apico own manufacturing, like bowl වෙන්න පුළුවන්, plastic items වෙන්න පුළුවන්, whatever kind of a thing. So these things were basically the market was captured by the private sector, my dear friends. See, we were talking about how David Archer, Gary Armstrong, Philip Kotler, Leslie Chanetany, then we were talking about C.N. Kapferer, Kevin Lane Keller, then like that the different authors are there. They have their own definitions for branding. They have their own definitions for branding. So David Archer considered as one of the very maybe the top the number one branding gurus in the world, because he's one of the author also, and also the Philip Kotler is the same, right? Philip Kotler, more than the branding, he's into marketing side. But David Archer specialized into the brand management side, and he's whatever the textbooks he was releasing focusing on the brand management side, and he had released so much of models, the concepts, the metrics that are useful in brand management. In even when you go to MBA, you will learn this, my dear friends. So these theories are used. So we were talking about this and how history. මේ link වලට යන්න, මේ link ටික එහෙම පොඩක් කියවන්න ගිහිල්ලා, මොකද මේ subject එක brands ගැන දැනගන්න තමයි මේ subject එකට අපි කතා කරා how the brand names appeared, right? So Giorgio Armani was introducing a brand under his name, Boeing, Dell අපි ගත්තොත් එම Cadbury අපි ගත්තොත් එම Hewlett Packard අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම so ඒ වගේ අපි කතා කරා, right? I have given a link here if I'm not mistaken, how the brands came up over a period. ඒ link වලට ගිහිල්ලා මේ බලන්න මෙන්න මේ link එක දීලා තියෙනවා brands by individual names කියන එක. So just have a look on them, right? Then we were talking about brand as a risk reducer, right? Why brand is important? ඇයි මේ brand එකක් important? Because it's so much of competition we are facing these days නේ. මිනිසුන්ට මතක නැහැ, as I said, මිනිසුන්ට මතක නැහැ මේ මිනිසුන්ට දැන් මේ තියෙන මේකේ හැටියට මිනිසුන්ට product එක මතකයි. නමුත් brand එකට confuse. Some are similar. You know, so අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඉතින් අර ඒ හින්දා ඒ හරියට brand එක manage කරගෙන යනවායි කියන එක. Right? It's so important to be, and also the continuity. දැන් අපි සමහර වෙලාවට අපි දකිනවා සමහර companies advertisement එකක් අද දානවා ආයි advertisement එකක් දාන්නේ ලබන අවුරුද්දේ. එහෙම හරියන්නේ. You should have at least a continuity in a small scale at least, then the people know that you're there. I mean, you know, still Sunlight is advertising, still Coca-Cola is advertising, still the EGB is advertising, right? All the brands are continuously communicating. But why, right? Because at the initial stage, you can get into their mindset and paste it, because our neurons in the mind, මේ brain එකේ තියෙන අපි neurons අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ neurons physically adjust වෙන්නේ නැහැ, but අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම අපිට එන knowledge එකත් එක්ක එක දේවල් එක්ක අර අපිට එන මුලින් අපක යට යනවා ඒක රිවයිස් කරේ නැත්තම්, right? In Buddhism there's a famous statement saying bhavita bahuli kato, right? Why? I mean, like, if you are to remember certain things, you have to do again and again and again and again. Otherwise, after sometimes you will forget it if you don't do it. So that is why I said bhavita bahuli kato. Bhavita karanna nitara bhavita karanna manase රැඳෙන්න නම් bhavita karanna nitara bhavita karanna කියන. Otherwise people will forget. So that is also there, right? That is also there where you need to remind people. Why reminding advertising? Well, ඒක important නේ. ඒක important. දැන් Coca-Cola Lankan to the last drop කියනකොට Coca-Cola remind කරා, hey, don't get panic, we still there. You know, we still there. Reminding advertising. ඒව වැදගත් වෙනවා. එතකොට මිනිස්සු brand එකක් කියලා කියනකොට යම් කිසි විශ්වාසයක් build වෙනවා, right? Okay. මිනිස්සු brand එකෙන් ඒගොල්ලෝගේ personal life එකට they try to get some kind of elegant. And I mean, I'm coming up with one of the, I mean, very unprofessional example. Now, why people, when they go to a good restaurant, and you know, why people share these things in FB? Why people share these things in social media? Why? I mean, they think, okay, the mentality, I'm not saying anything, this is purely psychology. The mentality, they show public that they are associating with those the good brands. Very, very unlikely නේ අපි මේ පෙට්ටි කඩේකින් තේ එකක් බිව්වයි කියලා ඉවරලා you just go to a wayside පෙට්ටි කඩේ and have a plain tea, right? මේ ඕක ලොකුවට මේවා කරලා Facebook එකේ දාන්නේ නැහැ නේ. I mean, that is how people, I mean, there are people like that. And ඒක දැම්මත් එතන පොඩක් අර social uplift කිරිල්ලකට ගන්න බලන්න. So people are trying to get some kind of a mileage even out of the brands, and it has identified most of the consumers, those who are wearing branded watches දාන male segment එක, right? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට short sleeves wear කරන්න කියන එක. I'm not saying branded watches කියලා කිව්වම මේ අඩු ගණන් වල තියෙනවා නේ. I'm talking about, then again, Rolex, Tag Heuer, ඒ වගේ ටිකක් high branded products අපි අරගත්තොත් So they spend about 1 million, sometimes even maybe, I mean, 2-3 millions, right? So අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ එතකොට ඒගොල්ලොන් ඒවා පේන්න දාගෙන යනවා, right? Because they try to get some kind of a mileage out to their personality along with the brand also. ඉතින් මේ වගේ ගොඩක් දේවල් මේ brand එක කරනවා, right? Okay. So brand is giving some kind of a legal protection, and when you do law, right, with Piumal sir, right, you all will learn how this brand connected with the legal, even the constitution in Sri Lanka, right? How you use constitution in Sri Lanka to protect your brand, how you use the Consumer Affairs Authority Act to protect your brand, logo registration, business name registration ordinance, and all these things, how you use to protect your brand, right? So legal side, you have few protections: the copyright, patent, then you talk about the logo, trademark. So those protections, how it gives the legal ownership in a way where even you can sue another party if they copy your brand. If you don't have a legal ownership of the product, you can't sue the other person and recover the damage. So law is there to protect you, your brand, your process, maybe the patent again patent protection again. So like that. So that protection is there. If you all can remember, I don't know whether you all can remember, in late 90s, there was a very nice advertisement from LG with one Indian lady, and she, it was with a dubbing. That lady came up and said, අවුරුදු 16ක් වෙනකන් LG door cooling refrigerators වලට patent එක තියෙනවා, කාටවත් copy කරන්න බෑ. You know, it's a protection. It's a protection. They were talking about අවුරුදු 16ක් වෙනකන් LG refrigerators වලට මේ patent එක තියෙනවා, කාටවත් copy කරන්න බෑයි කියලා. Then I was counting by that time, ඒ කියන්නේ 2012 වගේ එනකන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒ patent එක තිබ්බා. But unfortunately, you know, I mean, like, that patent is for a process, or the technology what they use and how the technology is used. But Singer counter-attacked that advertisement very nicely. Singer refrigerator counter this advertisement. Singer came up with the door cooling refrigerator, but not using the technology what LG was using. LG was using the technology, whatever, I don't know, I mean, like, the technical part of it, but Singer was targeting the final benefit, right? They said, okay, yes, refrigerator needs the cooling side for your door, right? Yes, we give that, but with a different technology. So LG came up with the mindset of door cooling, and Singer from a different concept, they gave the same benefit. Now see how, I mean, like, company can counter. And I'm yet to study which came into my notice very recently, right? And you know, I mean, Russia-Ukraine conflict, and there are so many brands have taken out from Russia, especially when it comes to the YouTube. Sorry, I mean, like, the USA, right? So USA brands were taken out, especially from Russia, and even German brands have taken out from Russia. Some of the European brands, if I take in general, the European and USA brands have taken out from USA. And it was noticed, I yet to study, yeah, I can't tell you an open thing. Things are circulating in big way, where even the McDonald's have taken out from Russia, and Starbucks have taken out from Russia, like that. Few different brands have taken out from Russia, and the government of Russia have taken a different aspect, different dimensions to counter the mechanistic value of the brand and come up into the customer with the same benefits and all these things, you know. So things are there like that, but they can't use the same name. They can't use McDonald name because it has a legal protection. It's a unique thing. But they were using it in some other way, right? So like that, you have some kind of a thing. Why it is so important? And the brand we were talking about, it is kind of a risk reducer. Ne? Brand එකක් කියලා කිව්වම risk එක අපිට reduce කරනවා. So we were talking about that. So let's see. Then we were discussing that, and we were talking about. I'm just summarizing since I'm coming into the latter part of the module 1, right? Then we were talking about difference between a product and a brand, and we identified how a product can augment their values by increasing intangible value additions. And we were talking about the difference between a product and a brand. You might have, actually, when it comes for brand or product augmentation, brand also comes there. Look at here. Brand also comes there because you bring the brand related culture, personality, attributes, attitudes, ඔය ඔක්කොම අපි කතා කරනවා මෙතනදී. ඔය image, identity ඔක්කොම කතා කරනවා. ඒවයින් අපි product එක augment කරනවා. right? එතකොට brand එක product එකට නමක් දීපු පළියට ඒක augment වෙන්නේ නැහැ. It's an identification. එහෙනම් augment කරන්න තව දේවල් අපි කරනවා. So එතන තමයි අපි බලන්නේ the functional benefits name මේ ඔක්කොමත් එක්කම product එක මෙතන තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් brand එකක් විදියට ඒක එළියට යන්න නම් so we need to add so much of things into it, you know. ඒකෙන් තමයි අපි අරගන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද කියලා what do you call to come up with a good brand. So we were talking about an article. Read those articles. Read them, then you all will get a better idea. Then we talk about last week we were talking about mechanical values and the functional values. One of the deep area in the syllabus, and this will even talk with many theories that are coming up in future. You know, මේක අපි කතා කරන ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඉස්සරහට එන theories එක්ක. කතා කරා mechanical values, functional values, ඒවා අපි ඒවයින් තියෙන benefit එක මොකක්ද කියන එක. අර අපි කතා කරා එකම brand එකට mechanical value, functional values දාලිවල අපි කොහොමද ඒක ගෙනියන්නේ කියලා. Lamborghini එක Lamborghini Murcielago Iranian car designer Moradi duplicate කරපු එක අපි කතා කරා, but it's not whatever the mechanical value duplicate කරාට it's not a Lamborghini, right? It's something else. So අපි කතා කරා mechanical values, functional values, එහෙම නැත්නම් physical values. අපි mechanical values, physical values, functional values, along with the physical psychological values, we need to manage depending on the time-based perspectives, right? If we are managing the brand. So අපි කතා කරා brand value chain එක. I will be discussing today what we are using to improve the brand equity by Kevin Lane Keller. එතකොට එතනදී අපි කතා කරනවා මේක mechanical value, psychological value, time based perspectives එක. ඒ කියන්නේ කාලයත් එක්ක external micro environmental factors එක්ක අපිට බලපාන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. So I'm not going to run this video since we were talking about. Then based on whatever we were learning with all the mechanical, functional, technical, tangible, plus intangible emotional values එක අපි brand and the branding කියන එක define කරගත්තා වෙනම විදියකට, and I have given these links, so do them. ඒ ටික අපි කතා කරා. Then let's see what අපි කතා කරා different nature, different parts of brands. අපිට visual component එකයි invisible component එකයි අපි ඒක ගැන කතා කරා. brand එකක් කියලා කිව්වහම visible component එක, invisible component. අපි කතා කරා core competency model එකත් එක්ක. Hamel and Prahalabගේ core competency model එකත් එක්ක අපි කතා කරා brand එකක unique resources identify කරගන්න එක, against the competitor core competency identify කරගන්න එක අපි identify කරගත්තා. We were talking about core competencies of different brands, so that we identified. True, it's only 3 to 4 days, but we were doing a lot. Okay, guys. Then we identified the different interpretations of brand, right? Then we identified, okay, I mean, input-based perspectives. Managers la brand එක develop කරන්න use කරන ඉතින් output-based perspectives කියලා අපි කතා කරා. Customers ලා මේ brand එක දකින්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. සහ how it is evolving over a period with the changes in the macros and the micros in the market. So time-based perspectives, right? Evolutionary process එක. මම අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා වගේ Coca-Cola, even the logo, how it was changing, and even the apple, half-eaten apple was basically a changed logo over a period. Ogulong kata karot brand logos, right? This is also another perspective of a brand. The logo එක බලන්න brand recognition එකට ඒක වැදගත් වෙනවා. Right? අපිට logo එකක් කියලා කිව්වහම අපිට clutter කරලා ගන්න බෑ. සමහර ඒවා අපිට ඒව මතක හිටින්නේ නැහැ. Right? සමහර logos අපි confuse වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? සමහර logos තියෙනවා statements විදියට. I can't believe it's not a butter. It's a statement, but it's the brand name and the logo they are using. Right? Recognition purpose එකට. Right? We are using brand logos. Thing logo එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ unique identity එකක් and quick recognition එකක් we are giving to the brand. So you need to have a unique one and memorable one, likable one, right? So which you can transfer very easily to another brand if possible, you know. Another product portfolio. Then ඔගොල්ලෝ ගත්තොත් Yamaha කියන brand එක. Okay. Now Yamaha, how many product categories? Samsung, how many product categories? They have stretched the brand. අපි කතා කරනවා brand stretching and brand extension කියලා ඉවරලා. Right? Samsung has stretched their brand into so many product categories. Right? Yamaha has stretched their product into so many product categories. HP, Dell have brand extension has taken, which means in the same category, they have introduced different products. You know? So like that, Virgin api gathot, Virgin Atlanta, Virgin Airline gathot. There are so many brand extension and strategies in it. ඒ කියන්නේ එක brand එක අපි හදාගත්තට පස්සේ brand name එක අපි හදාගත්තට පස්සේ අපි ඔකට කියනවා related diversification කියලා. You all will learn all these things. Related unrelated diversification. If your brand is so strong, you can even go into unrelated diversification. You know? So I mean Yamaha music equipments, then if you go water scooters, the sports items, the vehicles, you know, even unrelated diversification. 3M product එක ගත්තොත් brand එක ගත්තොත් unrelated diversification, starting from the office stationery, the car care, the you name, so many products, you know? Unrelated diversification. ඒ කියන්නේ industry එකේ ඉන්න industry එකෙන් එහාට ගිහිල්ලා ඉවරලා diversify. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එම Harpic කියලා කියන්නේ toilet bowl cleaner එකක්, right? bathroom. ඕකෙන් අපිට ඔය Harpic කියන එක use කරලා ඉවරලා fruit juice එකක් හදන්න බෑනේ. Right? So they might have sometimes okay tile cleaner, Harpic tile cleaner kind of a thing. I'm just saying, right? අපිට Mortein කියන එකෙන්, right? Biscuit එකක් හදන්න බෑනේ, because the Mortein, the brand extension, they can go into more mosquito killing or whatever the insect killing thing, but they can't go into food industry. with that brand. So stretchings are very limited on certain brands. Stretch කරනවායි කියලා කියන්නේ brand එකක් stretch කරනවායි කියලා කියන්නේ ඒ brand එක අරගෙන වෙනම business segments වලට යනවායි කියන එක. දැන් බලන්න John Keels වගේ corporate identity එක තියෙන brand එකක් ගන්න, Softlogic වගේ corporate identity එකක්, Singer වගේ corporate identity එකක් තියෙන brand එකක් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඒගොල්ලෝ අරගෙන යනවා මේ නම corporate identity they are taking into different ventures නා. Softlogic Leisure, John Keels Leisure, then අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම Softlogic Retail and අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම John Keels Office Automation, John Keels IT. ඔය වගේ අර related unrelated diversifications වලට they can easily move into with a strong brand. But you need to be careful when you take into unrelated diversification. අපි ඔය later කතා කරනවා මේ logo එකත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න ඕනේ ඉඳ I wanted to talk and logo එක තිබ්බ පළියටම strong වෙන්නේ නැහැ. If you all can remember the BlackBerry, you know, I mean they were not changing with the external environment. And where is BlackBerry today, right? And where are all the other smart devices today? Question mark. Mama, I can't remember the name of the CEO. He was crying in front of the media, saying, "Okay, we didn't do anything wrong." He said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but we couldn't survive." When he was crying, you know. So the BlackBerry CEO once, when they drastically dropped their share market, market share rather. So he came up and said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but I don't know what happened." අපේ කෙනා වගේ statement එකක් නෙමෙයි I mean to say. අපේ කෙනා දුන්නේ අමුතුම statement එකක් නේ. Right? මේක මං බිහි කරපු අර්බුදයක් නෙමෙයි කියලානේ අපේ කෙනා එහෙම එකක් නෙමෙයි. But I'm talking about the BlackBerry was taking in a different way. ඔය ටික අපි කතා කරා logo එක. Logo, fake logos create වෙන විදිය. Brand as risk we were talking about, right? Brand as a positioning tool. අර mind එකට මේක එන positioning කියලා කියන්නේ getting into the mindset. මේ mind එකට අපි මෙන්න මේ mind එකට අපි දාන්න ඕනේ brand එක. නැත්තම් වැඩක් නැහැ. මිනිසුට මතක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මිනිසු like කරන්න ඕනේ. like කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා කියන්නේ Facebook එකේ ගිහින් like කරනවා නෙමෙයි. I mean to say මිනිසු කැමති වෙන්න ඕනේ, ආස වෙන්න ඕනේ brand එකට. So a values create karanna ඕනේ, right? So we were talking about these things, right? Why we position, and we were talking about firm-centered brand, the market-oriented brand, and by looking at two major dimensions, well, brand එකක positioning එක effective වෙන්න අපි කොතනද ඒ brand එක park කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක we were talking about by looking at two dimensions, right? So ඒ ටික අපි කතා කරා. Just summarizing what we did. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ප්‍රශ්න how to create authentic brand, it's an article, read it. We කතා කරා branding branding challenges I think we didn't talk about, and we can talk about. හරි මේ දැන් මම කතා කරා පැයක් විතර මම කතා කරා. Nisansala, can you remember, and Anoja Samadhi, can you remember whatever we were talking about so far? මේවා මතකද? Nisansala නින්ද ගිහලාද කොයිද ආයිපා? Nisansala? Anoja? කොහොමද නැද්ද? Senal, what about others? Anoja? Yes, Anoja. මොකද?
Stuck record. Can't hear.
Can't you hear? දැන් මේ මෙච්චර වෙලා ඇහුන්නේ නැද්ද කියපුවා දෙයියනේ මම පැයක් කතා කරා. I was talking for 1 hour.
Sometimes stuck sounds and
Where are you staying?
Pugoda.
Pugoda signal තියෙනවා. Pugoda කියලා කියන්නේ Pugoda කියලා කියන්නේ දෙයියනේ මේ කොළඹනේ. කොළඹට චුට්ටක් එහානේ. ඈ ඔයාට මතකද දැන් මෙච්චර දවස් කරපු ටික මතකද දැන් අපි කරේ මං හිතන්නේ දවස් තාම 3යි හරි 4යි හරි අපිට 3යි හරියටම කරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණේ but we were talking about all these up to this point clear දේ ටික අපි කරපු ටික
clear sir
වා නේද කොයිද link natural වැඩ කරනවා කිව්වා අයි නිසංසලයි නේද
yes
you and නිසංසලා නා
yeah
good right so පැහැදිලිනේ කියන දේවල් නේ so that's okay right. So how is the assignment by the way මොකෝ assignment එකේ තාත්තේ අනෝජ පටන් ගත්තද
පටන් ගත්තා කම්පැනි එක ගැන තාම පටන් ගත්ත ඉතින් කම්පැනි එක ගැනනේ ලියන්න තියෙන එක
කම්පැනි එක ගැන ඔය ලියලා දානවනේ okay නෑ ඒකත් ලියන්න මොකද එතනදී මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට නිකන් පොඩි ඩ්‍රාෆ්ට් එකක් එවන්න මොන වගේද ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඉවර වෙලා නිසංසලා what about you පැහැදිලිද කියන
ඔව් සර් පැහැදිලි
ස්ටාර්ට් කරා අසයින්මන්ට් එක
පටන් ගත්තා තාම ඉවර නෑ
මොකද්ද කම්පැනි එක ලින්ක් නැචරල් මත
ඔව්
ඒක හොඳයි මනෝජ වත් ලින්ක් මනේද ගත්තේ වත් ලින්ක් oh ඒක හොඳයි මොකද then it is your company නේ one thing you two can get together and find details but don't write together right collect data together but don't write together මේ මොකද අර ඔය දෙන්නගේ wording style එකේදී මේ වෙනස් වුණාට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මොකද ඒක වෙනස්නේ කොහොමත් එක එක්කෙනාගේ wording style එක වෙනස් language එක එකම වුණාට but අර මේ එකම කම්පැනි එක එකම Mac එක ගැන ලියන්න පුළුවන් කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ දෙන්නෙට දෙවිදියකට so like that අපි කරන්නේ not in PDSBM branding වල නෙමෙයි කලින් sales වල මම copy assignments අහුණා ඒක අපරාධ එක එතෙම තේරුම් ගන්න තියෙනවා ඒක අපරාධ so Samadhi what about you have you started the assignment one Samadhi
yes sir
huh start කරාද assignment එක
yes sir
as usual right you can't be like this because you did sales also I think you did the marketing one also you have to finish it right now you know the mechanism ne කොහොමද කරන්න කියන එක you know no? right so you have to finish it right so Senal where are the others කොහොමද අද ඉන්නේ තුන් දෙනා ඉන්නේ හරියටම ඉන්නේ Senal
the others are not responding
you are recording නේද okay එනකම share the recording මම quick summary එකක් කරේ මම assignment එක touch කරනවා ඒ තුරු ටික කොහොමද කරන්න කියලා ඒක share වෙන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් ඒක අපරාධ ඒකයි okay so right so let's look at this අපිට තියෙන challenges what are the challenges we have අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම අපිට තියෙන මේජම බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකක් හදනකොට අපිට තියෙන දැන් තියෙන මේජම චැලෙන්ජ් එකක් තමයි කස්ටමර්ස් ලාගේ knowledge එක I mean now it's like this datas are on their fingertips right ෆෝන් එක අතට ගත්ත ගමන් අපි ටක් ගාලා මොකද්ද කරන්නේ මේක හරිද මේක ඇත්තද මේක බොරුද කියන එක බලනවා right so it has become a huge challenge to the to brands if we say something right they quickly go and go and look at okay whether it is true they go for reviews they go for I mean the history of the brand how they have been performing sometimes right ඉතින් ඕවා බලලා තමයි සමහර වෙලාවට මිනිස්සු ඩිසිෂන් එකක් අරගන්නේ right දැන් ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක් remember right ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් I mean, doctors are prescribing the category, not the brand. But doctor brand එක වෙනම කොලයක prescribe කරන්න නැතුව prescription එකේම ලියන්න නැතුව වෙනම කොලයක මෙන්න මේ brand එක ලියලා දෙන්න ගන්නයි කියලා කිව්වත් sometimes you might go and check whether that brand is good. I do. මොකද ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට කරන්නේ මොකද්ද අපි බලනවා මේ brand එක ඊට වඩා හොඳ brand එකක් තියෙනවා. Whether that brand is coming from a trustworthy source. මොකද doctors also now have become a business. Doctors la කියලා කියන්නේ them business කාර්යෝ. Right? I am telling openly. Okay. So doctor කෙනෙක් කියලා කිව්වහම government hospital එකේ වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්නකොට ලෙඩෙක් ආවම බුම්මට්ට වගේ patient ව care කරන්නේ නැතුව ඔහේ prescribe කරලා යනවා. නමුත් private hospital එකට ඒ patient ආවොත් එimhe patient ව පුළුවන් නම් බදාගෙන patient දෙන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම මේකද. අයියේ සල්ලි. So it's a business. They are now they study from you. The money comes from you and I, right? And you all may pay tax, you all may pay duties to the government. ඒවයින් තමයි ඉගෙනගෙන ඊට පස්සේ එතනින් further studies ඒගොල්ලෝ අතින් වියදම් කරගෙන කරනවා. That obviously. එහෙම කරලත් අර they are running a business, remember. They are running a business. So then now look at sometimes when they do PP, private practice, right? උදේ ඉඳන් hospital එකේ ඉන්නවා, right? අපි හිතමු 5ට තමයි hospital එකේ අයින් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා නෑ. PP center එකට යනවා, private practice එයාගේ own center එකට යනවා 3 වෙනකොට. එහෙනම් that they have gone into that level. Okay, let's come back to the branding one. අපි ගත්තොත් එimhe branding වලදී මිනිස්සුන්ගේ knowledge එක challenge එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Their experience and they are exposed to the information era. Now this is an information era, no? This is an information era. Now I will tell you one of the very recent yesterday. Okay, if you all know one channel called Beyond. It's a YouTube news channel, private YouTube news channel, which is coming from India, Beyond, right? Banned by YouTube for 1 week, but they recovered yesterday, right? So day before yesterday, the YouTube banned Beyond channel just for publishing the Russian Defense Ministry's speech. But same speech was published by CNN, Al Jazeera, and even the BBC, the same. Even in their YouTube channels, it was publishing. Now CNN එක YouTube own YouTube channel එකට, BBC own YouTube channel එකට, Al Jazeera own YouTube channel එකට, ඒ වගේ YouTube channel වලත් the same speech was publishing. And the Beyond channel, which is coming from India, right, publish the Russian Defense Ministry's speech as well as the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's speech, but they blocked the Beyond channel, saying okay and hatred speeches. But yesterday evening they got it recovered once again. So information basically the informations now shared through the technology giants in the world, my dear friends. Remember, දැන් ඔය TV channels එන්න decline වෙගෙන යනවානේ. Okay, TV channels, TV බලන ප්‍රමාණය මිනිස්සු එන්න අඩු වෙගෙන යනවා, because the informations are on their fingertip right now, their palm right now, right? Mobile phone එකේ ගත්තොත් mobile phone එකෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට channels ඕන තරම් තියෙනවා. Social medias now, how many advertisements we see in TV, but how many we see in social media? How long you stand in front of the TV or sit in front of the TV, and what is the time you be in the social media platform? And definitely your social media platform time, okay, your journey inside the social media platform, your customer journey in the social media platform is now higher than sitting in front of the TV. And even sometimes now customers sit in front of the TV with the mobile phone. Why? While watching the TV, even they are into the other. So informations are bombarded now, right? රුසියාවෙන් යුක්‍රේන් එකට බෝම්බ දානවට වඩා හපන් තමයි ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් අපේ අත්වලට එන්නේ. So එහෙම එකේ customers-ලට මේ තියෙන knowledge එක එන්න වැඩි වෙනවා. Now customers start comparing whatever the options available with information. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ වෙලාවකදී brand එකකට අපිට ලේසියෙන් අර බොරු කරලා ඉස්සරහට යනවායි කියන එක you can't do for a long term development. And the other one is the brand proliferation. Brand proliferation කියලා කියන්නේ competition එක, right? එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම අලුත් brands market එකට එනවා, right? Industry competition is the brand competition. The number of brands that are coming into the market is high day in and day out. Now, if you really want to know, right now with the pandemic, how many local brands came up into the market? Oh my goodness, huge. Those are also brands, right? So I mean local and international, many brands. So these brands are competing with the existing brands right now. Small entrepreneurs started their own brands and selling in their domestic level in the sense that mama ඉන්නවා නම් නුගේකොට මම මෙතන නුගේකොට ආවට මේ ටික මම මගේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් ටික විකුණනවා. ඒතර මම බිස්නස් එක කරනවා මට ඇති මේ domestic level operation එකක්. So but those things are competing with the multinational brands. So brand proliferation is becoming a challenge right now, right? එතකොට දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම දැන් link natural එකට how many competing local brands, right? දැන් ayurvedic කියලා එනවා, natural කියලා එනවා, nature related කියලා එනවා, less chemical, no chemical, zero chemical කිය එනවා. So like that. So small timers are coming up with the good brands right now and capture them. So this brand proliferation is also a challenge for brand. It's not easy, right? So then the media fragmentation. Media fragmentation එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ now, as I told you, now I can remember good old days in 1980s, early 80s. මම කියන්නේ 79 80 81 කාලේ, right? Not to show off, my dear friends, I was in Javadanapura by that time, right? So ඒ area එක තනිකරම කැලයක් වගේ පැත්තක් මම කියන්නේ දැන් ඔය ලොකුවට තිබ්බට, right? දැන් ඔය develop වෙලා තිබ්බට, but by that time it was basically give me 1 minute. Okay, so by that time it's not developed. මම කියන අවුරුදු 30කට දැන් 40කට කලින්නේ. හරිද? එතකොට I mean in at my place, I mean අපේ ගෙදර තමයි TV එකක් තිබ්බේ. TV එකේ size එක අඟල් 12 TV එකක්. TV එකේ brand එක you might have not even heard about it. Brand name Orex. හරිද? Orex කියලා කළු සුදු TV. I mean we had only 2 channels to see, watch. ITN එකයි රූපවාහිනී එකයි විතරයි තිබ්බේ. දැන් ඒතර ඒ පැත්තෙම මිනිස්සු ඇවිල්ලා very nice those history, right? අපි කරන්නේ මොකද? අපි හවසට TV එක අපේ කියන්නේ වරන්ඩා එකේ දානවා. ඒතර ඒ පැත්තේ ඉන්න පොඩි ළමයි නෝයි වයසක මිනිස්සු කොහොම ඇවිල්ලා මෙන්න රෑ කුමාරි 10 වෙනකන් වගේ TV එක වැඩ කරනවා. 9 10 වෙනකන් වගේ. ඉතින් මේ ඒ කියනවා. But we had only 2 channels. Advertisements නෑ. නාට්‍ය පටන් ගත්තොත් ඉවර වෙනකම් මේ කියනවා. ඉදලා හිටලා like I can remember one good advertisement, anchor advertisement එක යනවා ඒ දවස්වල anchor butter that I can still remember that advertisement because it was captured our good old memories, right? එතකොට ඒක ඒ වගේ advertisements ඒක තමයි මට ගොඩක් මොළුවට ගිය advertisement එක. So very few medias නේ. ITN එකයි රූපවාහිනී එකයි. රේඩියෝ වලින් තිබ්බේ ඒ කාලේ රේඩියෝ ඒ කාලේ නම් අපි රේඩියෝ ලොකුවට මේවා කරේ නැහැ. හැබැයි තිබ්බේ මොකද්ද? ගුවන් විදුලි සංස්ථාව, right? Okay, so broadcasting corporation එක. So ඒ ඔච්චරයි තිබ්බේ. right? ඊට අමතරව තව එකක් දෙයක් තිබ්බද දන්නේ නැහැ, but very few. එතකොට now let's say if farm advertising by that time, if I was running a business by that time, I had only 2 to 3 medias to communicate my brand. I had only 2 to 3 medias to promote my brand. But look at today, my dear friends. How many? Then ඒ කාලේ 22 million population හිටියේ නෑ තමයි. අපි හිතමු ඒ කාලේ හිටියා 15 million population කියලා. But the 15 million population divided among either two or three channels, right? ඒ channels දෙක තුන හරහා තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ මාරු වෙන්නේ. But today 22 million population divided among 50 plus channels. TV gattot how many channels? I don't know, more than Sri Lankan, more than 20 channels. Sri Lankan magatto, right? So including religious channels gattot 30කට එහා තියෙනවා. Okay, so international channels, the cable TVs, how many? Then අපිට ඒ කාලේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් තිබ්බේ නෑනේ. Okay, අපිට ඒ කාලේ ඉන්ටර්නෙට් තිබ්බේ නෑ. Facebook ආවෙකම 2008-9න් පස්සේනේ Facebook ආවේ. එතකොට YouTube ආවේ ඊටත් පස්සේනේ. ඔය කාලේ millennial ඒ generation එකෙන් පස්සේ. But today now how many worldwide webs අද ලෝකෙ බිලියන කීයක් තියෙනවද websites ලෝකෙ? එතකොට මේකනම් තත්ත්වේ. So මේ medias have fragmented the market. ඒ කියන්නේ මිනිස්සුන්ව ඛණ්ඩනය කළා එක එක channels වල ගිහලා. දැන් කට්ටියක් අපි හිතමු රූපවාහිනිය බලන්න ආසයි. තව කට්ටියක් ITN බලන්න ආසයි. තව කට්ටියක් සිරස බලන්න ආසයි. තව කට්ටියක් දෙරණ බලන්න. තව කට්ටියක් another segment is attracted to Hiru. Another segment is attracted to RTV. Another segment Swarnavahini. So like that. People attracted now for different channels based on their likings and the preference and the convictions. So what happened? If you are running a business, now you got to identify where is your target market and the target audience to promote your brand. Because if your target market is in ITN, attracted to ITN, no point of just going and advertising in Derana, though they are having a huge mileage. Because your target market is over there and it has fragmented and taken it to there. So you got to identify. So it is another challenge now. Identify the proper segment and their attraction towards the media. So media fragmentation ne capital loku challenge ekak wela thiyena brands වලට. Now when you look at the multinational brands, what do? Now they arrange the entire budget across different media channels, integrated brand management campaign, integrated brand management we call it, right? Across different media channels in different ratios. Then අපි හිතමු දෙරණට I'm just saying hypothetical. දෙරණ TV එකට 10 million දෙනවා නම් රූපවාහිනියකට 2 million දෙනවා, ITN එකට 3 million දෙනවා. I'm just saying hypothetical. And Swarnavahiniyaකට 5 million දෙනවා. So why? By looking at the set of ratio attracted which you can convert for your brand. එහෙනම් ඒ challenge එක දැන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා අපිට. ඒ challenge එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. So media fragmentation is another challenge what we are facing right now. So that is there. So, I mean, we were talking about savvy customers, which means the knowledge, interest in searching information and increasing their knowledge, and the brand proliferation, which means the number of brands that are coming up into the market soon, right? Continuously, the new brands and the media fragmentation, that also one of the challenge, and media is basically taken our customers into a small groups, right? Competition is increasing, and today not you are competing only with the local brands. Now see, you are competing with the direct, indirect international brands. Now if you can't buy from the local context, you can go online and buy. ලංකාවේ දැන් මේ condition එක ඇතුළත purchase කරන්න බැරි එක, it's a different concern. But Now the local brands are completing being in the local territory and being in the domestic market with the international brands. Ne? Then ඕගොල්ලෝ මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? Let's say you are launching a brand, you introduce the brand into the local market, but customers ඇවිල්ලා මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? Customers ලා I mean international brands ඇවිල්ලා මෙහි website හරහා විකුණනවා. So you're competing with whom now? Multinationals. Right? Multinationals. So, I mean, those things are becoming threat. And regulations, the deregulations, right? So, law and order in the country, right? So, those are challenges. Sometimes the country might have a law saying that, okay, you can't advertise this. Ethically, yes, tobacco and liquor, you can't advertise. Ethical and the legal things. But let's say as an example, if they comes up and say, you can't advertise kids products. What can we do? If they come up and say, right? So what can we do? And there is a law saying that you can't use cartoon characters in kids drugs in the sense the pharmaceutical drugs. Because the kids might kids might influence their parents to buy those products. So those things and cost increase. So that also becoming a challenge right now. So like that, there are many challenges for a brand to build a better equity. Equity එකක් කියලා කියන brand එකේ value එක වැඩි කරගන්න ලොකු challenge එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා in current context. Right? Any questions? Anyone is having any questions? Anyone is having any questions?
No, sir.
I think 4 is Dulaj, right?
Yes, sir. I just joined.
Okay. So, I mean, were you there from this slide? No. From the beginning? No. Right. So we actually were summarizing.
No, sir, I
just join. That's okay. So we were summarizing from the beginning what we were doing so far, because we are completing the module 1 today. So I wanted to summarize, and I will be starting anyway the assignment after this, because you all need to go one by one with the assignment. So I'll take it. So let me let's look at the other area. This is one of the important and one of the strategy area, concept of brand equity. Kevin Lane Keller's model, brand management, strategic brand management process we are discussing here. Kevin Lane Keller's introduction, and if you are to manage the brand, our brand එක equity එක කියලා කියන්නේ remember brand එකේ value එක. Equity එක කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් මේ brand එක කොච්චර වටිනවද කියන එක තමයි ඒකේ equity එකෙන් අපි කියන්නේ. Right? අපි හැමතිස්සෙම බලන්නේ brand එකේ equity එක day by day වැඩි කරන්න. Brand එකේ awareness එක day by day වැඩි කරන්න, brand එකට තියෙන attraction එක day by day වැඩි කරන්න, brand එකේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු secure කරගන්න day by day අපි ඒගොල්ලොන්ව මේ තියාගන්න brand එකත් එක්ක. So that is what we are trying. Day by day we are trying to do that. So brand එකේ share එක වැඩි කරගන්න, to increase the market share and for the brand, increase revenue through the brand. So ඕක තමයි අපි equity එක වැඩි කරගන්න. Local brand එකක් නම් international යන්න, segments ගොඩකට cover කරන්න. So ඒ වගේ. Right? ඒ වගේ. So I mean Kevin Lane Keller introduced. Kevin Lane Keller is one of the top branding gurus in the world. So he introduced 4-step approach in strategic brand management. 4-step approach to manage the brand equity. Right? So he said we'll be discussing one by one all these steps anyway. First, you got to make sure people identify and they become knowledgeable about your brand and the brand values, right? People should be able to identify the brand. People should be able to recognize the brand. People should be able to memorize the brand. People should be able to recall your brand. So that is the first step. So to do that, you need to do certain things. You have to talk about the communication. You have to talk about the differentiation. You have to talk about positioning, getting into the consumer's mindset and all these things. So if you are not creating awareness, if you are not trying to build interest towards the brand, if you are not trying to build the preferences, convictions towards the brand, so identification will not be there. The positioning will not be there. So the first thing he mentioned, if you are to increase the brand equity, people first should know the brand. And it should be there in the mindset of the consumer, the position. Brand එකේ purpose එක මොකක්ද කියන එක ඒගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ. ඇයි මේ brand එක? මොකටද මේ brand එක කියන එක ඒගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Purpose of the brand, they should have an idea. So that is the first step. We'll go one by one, don't worry. Then to meet that, you need to have brand marketing programs. Brand marketing program කියලා කියපු ගමන් අපි brand communication activities we are talking about. Integrated marketing communication activities we are talking about. We talk about advertising, we talk about sales promotion, interactive marketing, indirect marketing, digital marketing, and all these things, right? To take the brand to the mindset of the consumers and be continuously in the mindset of the consumer. Brand marketing programs we need to consider. Then as the third step, now you have implemented the brand marketing programs. Now you have implemented the integrated marketing communication activities to promote the brand and or take the brand into the mindset of the consumer. But you should make sure that whatever the activities you do are effective inside the market. If it is not effective inside the market, no point of just doing it. No? So you should make sure that those things are effective inside the market. So you have to measure periodically. අපිට brand එක launch කරලා advertising campaign එකක් යවලා ඉවර වෙලා පිටිපස්සෙලා බලාගෙන ඉන්න බෑ. අපි measure කරන්න ඕනේ. In digital context, now you can do digital statistics, the analytics. When you look at, you can do them. Even those days, let's say the conventional advertising, traditional advertising, TV, radio, newspaper, traditional advertising, how do they get the performance? How do they evaluate the performance? By looking at the ratings. අපි ඒ දවස්වල TV campaign එකක් run කරන TV channel එකක් use කරගන්න අපි මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? එක්කෝ AC Nielsen, එක්කෝ LMRB ඒ වගේ research reports දිහා බලනවා මොන time belt එකද effective. එහෙනම් ඒ time belt එක අපේ product එකට effectiveද? එහෙනම් මේ time belt එකේ let's say as an example we are selling kids products and kids are attracted to TV by those days from 3 to 5. All the kids cartoons and the other other programs are from 3 to 5. So they are attracted to the TV by that time. So if you are promoting a kids product, that is the best time slot. So we look at, okay, which channel. So like that, so you got to measure even prior running the campaign, possible performance you should measure. Then even after running the campaign, effectiveness of the campaign we need to run. To do that, only the value chain analysis, then the brand audit and all these things are there. So we'll be discussing them, right? So අපි measure කරන්න ඕනේ අපි campaign එක කරනකොට. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි අපි මේක sustain කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් ගොඩක් කට්ටියට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න තමයි sustain කරන්නේ නැහැ මේක. Right? I'm not talking about sustainability here, right? Sustain කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ continuity එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Grow and continuity එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ product එක continuously ඒ architect එකෙන්ම position කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. Right? Brand stretching, extension, related, unrelated, diversifications යනවා නම් ඒවා අපි ගෙනියන්න ඕනේ. Right? So grow when steps අරගන්න ඕනේ. So first thing you need to create awareness to bring the brand positioning with the values. Then ඒක identify කරගන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් ඒක implement කරන්න ඕනේ brand marketing campaigns වලින්. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක කල්ලිවල ඒක measure කරන්න ඕනේ. Then you have to maintain that for the future. Grow and maintain for the future. Brand equity development එකට Kevin Lane Keller identified these 4 steps. This Keller's model of brand equity, right? So these are the things we need to do. So let's look at one by one. Let's look at one by one and identifying and establishing the brand positioning. What we should do, right? අපි මොකද්ද මේ කරන්නේ මෙතනදී? Brand positioning means what? First you got to identify the meaning of this word brand positioning. Brand positioning means getting into the mindset of the consumer. මෙන්න මේ මෙතනත් එක්ක play කරන එක තමයි mind එකත් එක්ක play කරන එක තමයි positioning කියලා කියන්නේ. සමහර මිනිස්සුන්ට brand එක මතක නැහැ. මම මේ brand එකක් දැක්කා මතක නැහැ කියලා කියනවා. It was a nice brand but can't remember. So why? What is the reason? Reason means what? That brand has not captured the share of the mind. So මෙන්න මේකේ mind share එක අඩු වෙන්න අපිට positioning වලින් අපි lose වෙනවා. So objective of the positioning is to increase the mind share. Then as an example, if I ask you a very simple question, right? Dulaj, tell me now how many toothpaste brands are there in Sri Lankan supermarkets? I mean, just a figure, if you know, just a rough idea. How many do you think we have toothpaste brands?
5, 6.
5, 6. Okay. So what about Samadhi? How many toothpaste brands are there in the market? Samadhi? So what about Nisansala? Nisansala, what about, how many toothpaste brands will be there in the market?
6.
6, okay. Now, if you really go to supermarket, you will identify 20 to 30 toothpaste brands that are there available in Sri Lankan supermarket. In Sri Lanka, 20 to 30 toothpaste brands that are operating, right? Now, but how many you can remember? Maybe 5, 6. And if I ask, okay, for you all to tell me toothpaste brands, පහක් හයක් කියනකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ struggle කරන ඉතුරු නම් ටික. ඒකෙනුත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මුලින්ම කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ගොඩක්ම familiar, sometimes that product may be the product you are using, consuming right now. So which means what? That is how the share of mind taken, right? Colgate එනවා නම් මුලින්ම ඒ කියන්නේ Colgate එක high, අපි ඔකට කියනවා top of the mind recall ratio කියලා. Top of the mind recall ratio, which means what? අපි යම් කිසි දෙයක් අහපු ගමන් ඒක brand එකක් උඩට එනවා නම් ඒක තමයි අපි research වලදී කරනවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. අපි අහනවා ඔයා හිතන්නේ fashion brands ගැන ඔයා මොනවද හිතන්නේ කියලා කියපු ගමන් එයා මේ එක fashion brands ගැන කතා කරනවා. ඒතර එයාගේ ඔළුවට මුලින්ම එන්නේ top of the mind recall ratio එකක් තියෙන brand එක. ඒ කියන්නේ mind share එකේ වැඩිම area එකක් capture කරපු එක තමයි ඒ කියන්නේ වැඩිම mind share එකක් capture කරපු එක තමයි මුලින්ම ඔළුවට එන්නේ. So we call it top of the mind recall ratio කියලා. එතකොට අන ඒ capture වෙන එකට possibility එක තියෙනවා brand purchase වලට. So getting into the mindset is so important in brand management as a first thing, because if nobody knows your brand anyway, there won't be a pull from the market. Pull එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ product එක market එකෙන් ගන්නෙ නෑ කවුරුවත් ඇවිල්ලා. So if the brand is not known, right, and people sometimes go to supermarket and might see new brand, right? They might see, they might try, they might buy to test, but that also, I mean, how many? What is the ratio of people those who are buying a product to testing purpose? So very, very few. Even in modern, especially in modern context, it's very difficult, right? So getting into the mindset is the crucial point in brand management. So that we need to do as the very first step, and it should be a clear image. Then position කරනකොට purpose එක. What is the purpose behind this brand? Why? people should not get confused, my dear friends. Right? එතකොට මිනිස්සු confuse වෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න ඕන. මිනිස්සු ගොඩක් brand එක දැනගත්ත ගමන් එකපාරටම ඇවිල්ලා purchase කරන්නේ නැහැ. Don't expect that also, my dear friends. එහෙමත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හොඳේ මිනිස්සු ඇවිල්ලා ඕගොල්ලෝ advertise කරා. ඔන්න link natural ආනේ link natural advertisement එකක් තියෙනවා. මං හිතුව දෙම කියලා කඩේට ගිහලා link natural ගන්න ඕනේ. You can't expect like that. You can't expect like that. Right? So, I mean, okay, link natural product. Okay, shampoo. Okay. Face wash, okay, it's there. When a need comes, if the link natural name is there, they might have a link natural happy product balamu compare. Dowga link natural compare. Whatever two brands came up, okay. Compare. Okay. Product comparisons. Point of parity, point of difference. We'll be discussing that. Right? Abhi compare. Right? It's ඔක්කොම මේ මයින්ඩ් එකේ තිබ්බේ නැත්නම් ඒක මතකුනේ නැත්නම් එයා කම්පැරිසන් එකකටවත් අපිට ගන්න බැරි වෙනවා කස්ටමර්. ටෙස්ටිං පර්පස් වත් කස්ටමර් පර්චේස් කරන්න නැති වෙනවා සමහරවිට. So first thing, you have to give a clear picture about the product and you have to make sure customer understand the purpose behind the product. Why it is coming up here. You have to identify. Then there when you look at brand positioning, you need to make sure that your positioning is stronger than your competitor. Your positioning is stronger than your competitor. Why is that? Because there should be a reason for customer to choose your brand and not your competitor brand. I mean, why you all have selected a particular brand and not the competitor brand? Because you see some kind of a value addition in the selected brand, what your competitor brand doesn't have. So that brand superiority should be there. That superiority also should communicate. Then api gatthoth ehema. Flora is talking about nutritional value. Flora api katha karanne Flora ගොඩක් වෙලාවට taste එකට වඩා කතා කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? Nutritional values and better spread කියන එක. Then if you look at Flora advertisement not recently when they started campaigns, they said fridge එකෙන් ගත්ත ගමන් ගන්න පුළුවන් butter එකක්. එකම butter එක. ඇත්තටම එකම butter එක fridge එකෙන් ගත්ත ගමන් ගන්න පුළුවන් එකම butter එක. Right? So අර අනිත් butter ඔක්කොම high වෙනවනේ fridge එකේ. Okay, fridge එකෙන් ගත්ත ගමන් ගන්න පුළුවන් butter එක. දැන් එතකොට they were running advertisement පොඩි ළමයා ඉස්කෝලේ යන ලෑස්ති වෙලා ටක් ගාලා දුවලා එනවා fridge එක අරනවා butter එක එළියට ගන්නවා ගාලා කනවා. එතකොට එතන ඒකත් එක්ක better spread and nutritional values තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කතා කරේ. But Anchor is talking about the creamy taste and nutritional values. Highland is talking about taste and local කියන එක. Right? So, but Flora was talking about the nutritional values. Look at the brand superiority over there. Right? එතකොට එතන differentiation එක මොකක්ද කියන එක identify කරගන්න ඕනේ against competitor කියන. එතකොට nutritional values අපි stress කරන්න තමයි මිනිස්සු okay එහෙනම් nutritional values හොඳයි නම් අපි මේකට යන්න ඕනේ. ඇත්තටම තියනවද නැද්ද කියන එක I'm not saying, right? Now you see the Medoli brand as an example, okay? So then again the butter product. So when you look at, I mean, they talk about nutritional values, but does it really have those nutritional values? Question marks. No? Are those really keeping those values? The question marks. No? So, but communication goes like that. Communication goes like that. And a brand superiority api communicate karana, position karana, because there should be a reason for people to buy your brand. Remember, there should be a reason for people to buy your brand. And a copy identify karagato. And the other one, because I mean, the fundamental mistakes what our people do is not having a proper idea about point of difference and the point of parity, my dear friends. Point of difference and the point of parity. Okay, so point of parity කියලා කිව්වහම අපි කියන්නේ point of parity කියලා කියන්නේ okay, in that particular category there are certain things you must have. Car එකක් නම් travel transportation capacity එක තියෙන, I mean traveling capacity එක තියෙනවනේ, road තියෙනවනේ. I'm just saying hypothetical, okay. Shaving razor එකක් නම් blades තියෙන්න ඕනේ, ඒ විදිය තියෙන්න ඕනේ, ඒ handle එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ, blades තියෙන්න ඕනේ, convenient වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් point of parity කියලා කියන්නේ අත්‍යවශ්‍යම දේ මේ product එක මේ category එක ඇතුලේ fit වෙන්න. But point of difference කියලා කිව්වම single blade, two blades. If you can remember when Gillette introduced the two-blade shaver, right? Two-blade shaver. So what did Big said? දෙපාරක් මූණ හීරෙනවයි කියලා කිව්වා. දෙපාරක් මූණ කැපෙනවයි කියලා කිව්වා. ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන්න එපා කියලා කිව්වා. Then finally Big also came into that. So point of different highlighted by Gillette to the customer's mindset, and people started buying two blade shavers. And what happened? The single blade shavers of Big was declining by that. Declining in the sense reducing the market share. Then they also came up with the two blades shaver. So you got to identify this. Then when you position, are we fit properly in the category? Do we have real, I mean, positioning capacity, right? Inside the business sector, the business category, we identified. And then give the point of difference, saying, okay, what is the reason for customer to come and buy our product in this category? So that is the point of difference. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ දෙක identify කරගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් සමහර ඒගොල්ලොන් ඇත්තටම product එක හදනවා basics නැතුව. ඒතකොට industry එකට match වෙන, category එකට match වෙන basics නැහැයි කියලා කියන්නේ point of parity නෑ, must haves නෑ. මේවා must haves. Point of parity කියලා කියන්නේ must have. මේ ටික අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. දැන් shaver එකක් නම් ඒවල කපන handle එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ, blades තියෙන්න ඕනේ, ඒ convenient එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතර point of difference එක තමයි මම අර කිව්වේ two blades, three blades, you know. So like that the point of difference, additional attributes තියෙන්න ඕනේ. For I mean it should bring a reason for customer to come and buy your product, come and pull your brand. ඒක තමයි point of difference කියන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ දෙක identify කරගන්න ඕනේ. මේ දෙක identify කරගත්තාම so you all have a proper positioning. It's very easy because customer might ඇයි මම මේ product එක ගන්නෙ? ඇයි මම මේ brand එක ගන්නෙ? What is the reason you are saying this brand is good? That is the point of difference. That is the point of difference. Right? Yeah. So you got to identify that. You got to identify that. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone is having any questions? Now it's 10. Anyone is having any questions? So we'll take a break now, and after that we can make it. But anyone is having any questions? Anyone is having any questions? සෙනල් පුළුවන් නම් අනිත් කට්ටියව ගන්න. මම assignment එකට content එක හදනවා මේකෙන් පස්සේ assignment එකේ content page එක හදනවා මේකෙන් පස්සේ මේ chapter එක ඉවර කරලා පුළුවන් නම් අනිත් කට්ටියට message එක දාලා ගන්න, rather than checking the records. It will be good if they are also in. Senal, are you there?
Yes, sir. Okay.
පුළුවන් දාන්න message එක group එකේ මම structure එක අද හදනවා assignment එකේ. මොකද අද structure එක හදුවට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට it's like fill in the blanks එකයි. Right? Okay. You can share the records in the records, that is okay, but it is better if they have questions, then they can clarify then and there. Right, guys, so we'll take a quick break. So now it's 10:10 in my laptop. So we'll meet up at 10:30. We'll do like that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right, we'll do.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay, we are back. Right. We were talking about, after this, we'll do the structure. And yes, we were talking about actually the strategic brand management, brand equity process of Kevin Lane Keller, right? So there we identified, okay, the first step of bringing the brand into a proper positioning platform, which means getting into the mindset of consumers. So there we continue with that. And we were talking about, okay, when you look at the brand positioning thing, what are the areas you got to focus up here? Part මේව කරන්න එතෙන්දී අපි ඉගෙන ගත්ත points දෙකක් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්ත point of parity and the point of differentiation. You must have both in positioning. Point of parity කියලා කිව්වහම if you are to be in that particular category, what are the things you must have in your brand? Cola වෙන්න නැතුව cola category එකේ ඉන්න බෑ. Coca-Cola, Kick Cola, Pepsi Cola or whatever. Cola නෙමෙයි නම් cola category, cola beverage category එකේ ඉන්න බෑ. So it's something like that. So but it should have the parity to be in the cola category. Then the point of difference is what? So the taste may be, and the brand the uniqueness may be, and the brand personality may be, brand identity, what you have created, and the image, what you have created, maybe all these things are point of differences. Like even the differences can be the country of origin and the logo, the slogan, and all these things might be used to get a point of differentiation, you know. So and in the same category now, let's say as example, you talk about paracetamol. Point of parity is basically the content which is there. It is in the paracetamol, but why people rather buying loose from SPC, why people buy Panadol? So point of difference is that. Point of differentiation is that. So this we need to identify when we look at the brand positioning part, right? And the second step of the brand management process, what Kevin Lane Keller is talking about, brand management in the sense brand equity management. Okay, so brand equity improvement or brand equity management process. The second step is talking about what? Planning and implementing the brand marketing programs. I mean, brand marketing programs are all about the marketing communication activities, what you do to take the brand into the mindset of the consumer. Now, අපිට brand එක මිනිස්සුගේ mind එකට ගෙනියන්න activities ටිකක් කියන්න එපා. We have to do something. Okay, so you got to make sure you are integrated brand marketing programs. Integrated brand marketing programs කියලා කියන්නේ මේ එකකට එකක් connect වෙච්ච, combine වෙච්ච. Isolately run කරන නෙමෙයි. Now I mean sometimes okay, you might run one concept in TV, another concept in radio, another concept in digital media, another concept in press. So I mean it should, I mean whatever the media channels you are communicating, it should go in the proper message, the same message throughout, right? So that is where you talk about the integrated brand marketing programs, and also you have to use multiple channels. And remember, when you look at the consumer decision making pattern in modern context, you can't rely only on one single channel, my dear friends, because you need to focus on multiple channels, right? අපි ප්‍රෙස් එකේ ඇඩ්වර්ටයිස්මන්ට් එකක් දැම්මයි කියලා. එතකොට එතනදී පොඩි පෝෂන් එකක් එයි. ඩිජිටල් කැම්පේන් එක රන් කරා කියලා. එතනදීත් පොඩි පෝෂන් එකක් එයි. So you got to have multiple approach there, right? So that is where we talk about the integrated brand marketing programs, advertising, I mean, event and experience activities, word of mouth activities, sales promotion activities, PR activities, CSR campaigns, all these things, right, are coming under the integrated brand marketing programs. So first thing you got to do here, you need to make sure that you're 100% okay with the mix that you're taking into the your target market and the target audience, the brand related mix. In the sense, your brand name, URL, your logos and symbol and all these characteristics should have a proper combination. And even sometimes the color scheme what you are using in all these platforms should be unique. Then only people will get the recall capacity. I mean, color එක මේ විදිය. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට සමහර වෙලාවට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එනවා ඔයගොල්ලන් සමහර brands දැක්කහම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එනදී අනේ මේ brand එකත් අර වගේ නේද කියන එක. That kind of a feeling. So that comes along with the recall ratio. The memorability which is already captured. And that build the recall ratio. එතකොට website එකේ දකින්න එකක්, newspaper එකේ දකින්න එකක්. So you have uniqueness there over there. Now, okay, I saw this in website. I got an email flyer. This uniqueness is there. But if you are running completely isolated things in different platforms, then it will be a concern. So you must have some kind of a integrated approach in managing the brand elements, this logo, URL, and all these things, right? Then actually the marketing activities, in the sense this advertising and sales promotion, personal selling approaches, direct, indirect, interactive marketing approaches, events and experience, CSR, PR, as I said, මේ campaigns ටික අපි we need to run properly to make it. Right, and even the other things like, okay, which might link with the brands, remember. So when you're integrating the brand marketing communication strategies or the brand marketing programs, even certain factors, certain elements that are linking with the brand might give some kind of an energy for the entire equity development. අපි ගත්තොත් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට තමයි මෙතන මම දාලා තියෙනවා. I mean, country of origin and why people go for a good country when it comes to the origin. Manufactured, maybe, let's say as example, whatever the country where you have the less labor cost. Taiwan maybe, Malaysia maybe. I'm not saying Malaysia's cost is low. China, Taiwan, then Indonesia, Cambodia. So countries like that, Vietnam. So countries like that. So manufacturing comes from those countries, but the brand ownership. Who owned the brand now? Even Apple, even Dell, even automobile industry, Toyota also manufactured in China, right? But those are coming with the proper origin. Origin එකයි country of manufacturing එකයි දෙක. Country of origin, country of manufacturing කියලා කියන්නේ. Country of origin is the place where you origin the brand. මේ දෙක interpret කරනවා වැරදියටත් සමහර ලාට. එතකොට product origin එකයි brand origin එකයි කියලා කියන්නේ දෙකක්. Now logistic වලදී use වෙනවා country of origin කියලා කියන්නේ product origin එක ship out country එක. Okay. But in brand management, the country of origin is the real ownership of the brand, right? Samsung Korea, right? Hyundai Korea, right? So Toyota Japan. So like that. So that matters to improve the brand equity, and that also helps to leverage your brand marketing campaign to a positive side. So things we need to identify. And when you look at even the channel intermediary operations now, why good brands like Nike, Tommy Hilfiger, so CK, Giordano, Mango. So why these brands are tying up with the known recognized retailer in the country, right? If you ask the distributorship or the retail operation or the retailer partnership, you might not be able to get because of the reputation and the equity brand created over a period. But the companies like Softlogic, John Keels, and Under Armour comes from Abans, so they can do it. Why? Because they have already built a reputation as trustworthy retail sources and expanded operations. So all these things are taken. So මෙන්න මේවා තමයි ඇත්තටම you got to see when it come for the brand marketing programs. දැන් brand marketing programs වලදී අපි අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියපු marketing communication mix elements ටික මෙතන අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. marketing communication mix elements ටික. Advertising, sales, promotion, ඔය ටික we can talk about. Right? So then we talk about, okay, the third step of the marketing, the brand equity development process of this Kevin. They are the measuring the brand performance, because no point of just talking about just promoting the brand if, as I said earlier, if we don't measure it. But how can we do it? How can we do it is the question. So we need to look at the effectiveness. Now digital campaign එකක effectiveness එක measure කරන්න we have the analytics, right? Digital analytics are there. So back end එකේ අපිට කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන් analytics මොනවාද? website එකට කොච්චර hits වුණාද, මේ website එකේ කොයි page එකකටද වැඩිපුර hit උනේ, මේ page එකේ on average what is the time of what is the duration of customer being in a particular page, and return ratio එක ඒ customer ආයි website එකට. So all these things, right? CRM, customer relationship management application එකකට දැම්මට පස්සේ so we can measure all these things. So similarly, what about the other things you got to look at? So everything we need to measure to see. Initially, we plan some kind of a positioning with all the values that are there. Then to match that, we ran all the campaigns, but we need to know whether those campaigns are effective to move forward. So that is where the positioning, performance measurements are important. So third step, yes. How do we start? How do we start the brand positioning? Measuring the brand performance is by doing a brand audit. Brand audit. So brand audit is something similar to marketing audit. You must have heard the word marketing audit. So if I define you the term marketing audit, so the marketing audit defined as the systematic, periodic, unbiased study on all macros and micros to uncover opportunities and threats available in the market to design strategies. ඔක තමයි marketing audit එක කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ current situation analysis එකක් තමයි marketing audit එකෙන් කරන්නේ. macro micro environmental analysis එක අපි පටන් ගත්තාම, right? SWOT model එක දාලා internal environmental analysis එක කළා, SWOT model design කළා. ඔය ඕක තමයි marketing audit එක කරන්නේ. So brand audit is also part of that, and we are looking at all these elements, the internal perspectives, external micros and the macros. We are looking at all these things with the angle of branding. So it's a comprehensive examination by focusing the brand, which means අපි previously කතා කරා නම් marketing audit එකේ කොහොමද political scenarios business growth එකට වන්නේ කියලා. එහෙනම් political scenarios brand development එකට, brand equity එකට බලපාන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා අපි branding audit එකේදී අපි study කරනවා. එහෙනම් අපි මේ scenario analysis එකක් කරා නම් what are the possible scenarios available for us to grow our business when it comes to the overall operation. When it comes for branding, we look at, okay, what are the scenarios, the positive scenarios that are turning towards the brand development. We are looking at auditing that. So, brand audit එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. So, something what we do to identify the present situation of the brand to see how strong our brand at the current context. So compared to the external market and all the competitors available in the market. So it's a comprehensive examination. That is one approach we are doing to see the performance. But you can't do it overnight. It's a comprehensive study, and you need to have know-how to do it. එතකොට එතනදී අපි ගන්න කලෙක්ට් කරන data's ඒ ඔක්කොම ටිකත් එක්ක අපිට තමයි අපේ decisions වලට එන්න. Right? Then the brand value chain, when we really look at, right? That was one of the thing where we are looking at. We'll be discussing the brand value chain also right after this. Brand value chain is another thing what we are looking at to identify how strong we are. Are we really in proper track? Are we really in proper track to improve the brand equity? brand එකේ value එක වැඩි කරන්න අපි හරි track එකේ ඉන්නවද කියලා බලන්න. මොකද audit එක කියලා කියන්නේ current දැන් financial audit එකයි marketing brand audit එකයි පටලවා ගන්න එපා my dear friends. Financial audit what you do in your company annually It's a post-mortem audit. Post-mortem audit එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ මරුණට පස්සේ කරන audit එකක් කියන එක මම කියන්නේ. So financial audit එක ඉවර පටන් ගන්නේ financial period එක ඉවරුණාට පස්සේනේ. But brand audit is, or the marketing audit is to identify the current context in whatever the situation we can do it. So you don't have to wait till you finish the financial year. No, එහෙම එකක් නෑ brand audit marketing audit එකේදී. අපි uncover කරගන්න බලන්නේ situation එක base කරගෙන අපිට තියෙන possible growth avenues මොනවද? අපිට තියෙන opportunities, threats මොනවද? scenarios මොනවද? ඒ scenario based analysis මොනවද? අපිට තියෙන risk මොනවද? අපිට තියෙන competencies, capacities මොනවද? So values මොනවද? So resources මොනවද? So ඕවා audit කරලා බලා ගන්න තමයි අපි brand audit, marketing audit කරන්නේ, not like the financial audit to see. But the financial audit එකේදී අපි කරන දේවල් අපි history එක analyze කරලා මේ ඒක document කරන එක mainly කරන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ by looking at the financial ratios, right, certain ROI maybe, whatever creditors ratio, debtors ratio, you name whatever the ratios, right, ඒවා බලලා future decisions ගන්න එක වෙනම කතාවක්. But generally, they are looking at the historical perspectives, but here not like that. So the brand value chain is also one of the area we are looking at along with the marketing audit or the brand audit. What we discussed to see, okay, how these values are interconnected to improve the equity, right? So I mean, it is supporting the value creation process. Then api උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් brand value chain එක අපි නිකන් හිතමු, okay, forget about the brand value chain. අපි raw material factory එකට එනවා. එතකොට ඒ factory එකේ manufacturing කරාම manufacture කරලා product එකක් දැම්මම value addition එකක් එනවා. ඒකට raw material එක converted to a product, which means what? Value chain එකේ අපි value addition එකක් කරලා තියෙනවා. අපි ඔය ලංකාවේ හැමතිස්සෙම කියනවනේ we don't do value additions කියලා කියනවනේ. අපි value addition කරන්නේ නැහැ, raw විකුණන්නේ කියලා ඉවරලා. පොල් ගෙඩිය වගේ විකුණනවා, ඒකට මොනවා හරි value addition එකක් කරලා විකුණන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. Right? So ඒවා mineral ಜಾති ඒවා අපි value additions කරන්න නැතුව විකුණනවායි කියලා. So I mean value additions we need to do in this creation process. Then product එකට ලස්සන packaging එකකින් value addition කරනවා. So whatever the way. අපි garment manufacturing industry එක ගත්තොත් cotton wool එක එහෙම නැත්නම් silk එක අපි yarn එකක් කරලා ඒ yarn එක නූලක් කරලා ඒ yarn එක we are converting it to a fabric, right? Then value added, fabric converted into a garment converted into a branded garment. So it goes like that, na? Value addition, right? Value addition. So this value chain is supporting that to improve the equity of the brand. Then I mean the other one, the brand equity measurement system. Right, there are many actually. There are many brand equity measurement systems we are having. There are different metrics. So you all will learn by time comes. So I'm really sorry. May put a pain in there. Let me see. Minimize pain or the no, I will correct it. So brand value addition, brand equity measurement system. There are enough and more models are there. So we need to measure this. එතකොට තමයි අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් are we into right track කියන එක. නැත්තම් we are spending, we think okay customer knows this and customer will like this and finally the result will not be there. So when you look at the brand value addition process, brand value chain, this is another model actually. What you all should learn, it's that also from the Kevin Lane Keller, right? So brand value chain. What does it do? Look at, I mean, the brand value chain is a structured approach assessing the sources and the outcomes. See, assessing the sources and outcomes of the brand equity. එහෙනම් මේ මේකෙන් අපි යන්නේ මොකද්ද? මේ value stages වලින් යන්නේ මොකද්ද? brand equity එක improve කරන්න තමයි මේ value chain එක අපි value chain model එකෙන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ. Right? Whatever the activities we do to finally to improve the brand equity. We can brand එකේ තියෙන value එක වැඩි කරන එක තමයි finally අපි මේකෙන් කරන්නේ. So අපි මේ model එක ගත්තොත්, so the Keller's brand equity model, sorry, rather brand value chain, right? You can see majorly 4 steps finally which build the shareholders value. අපි මොන දේ කරන්නේත් shareholders values වැඩි කරන්නනේ, price earning ratio එක වැඩි කරන්නනේ. The P ratio is the price earning ratio එක වැඩි කරන්නනේ අපි බලන්නේ මෙතන. right? එතකොට ඒක වැඩි වෙනවායි කියලා කියන්නේ investor එහෙම නැත්නම් brand owner, brand the company shareholder value එක වැඩි කරන එක තමයි finally අපි ওই activities ටික කරලා කරන්නේ. That is the reason we are inventing a product into the market, no? Brand into the market, no? That is the reason we are launching a brand into the market, no? Because ultimate expectation is what? To gain money, ne? අපි මොනවා කරන්නේ මොකටද? Ultimate expectation is what? I mean, we are launching a brand. Do you think any company is launching a brand just only to serve people? No, not like that. Not like that. You can't find that. I mean, even NGO, NPOs, right? Non-governmental organization, non-profit organization, they also earn money. They are earning money better than the normal commercial organization. It's a different concern. Right? I will tell one of the story, right? And I don't want to tell the NGO, my dear friend, the name of the NGO. This happened about 2 to 3 years back, few years back. And I was talking to one of the top seniors in this international NGO, right? And I was asking, look here, and what is your top line of the entire operation? He said, okay, it's billions, huh? It's billions, huh? Non-taxable, right? Non-taxable top line, billion, huh? Then I was asking, what is the ratio, the bottom line ratio? I mean, in an average commercial organization, to gain the bottom line of 20% is challenging, right? Bottom line ke lakena final profit එක. Top line කියන revenue එක. Right? Do you know some of the NGOs, the international NGOs, the bottom line is over 40? Right? The NGO what I was talking, the bottom line is over 30. 30% the bottom line. You just imagine non-taxable bottom line. And let's say hypothetical figure එකක් මම ගත්තොත්, now they are designing a project. We look at, okay, child related project එකක් කියලා හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට. So project value එක මොකද්ද? Hypothetically මම කියනවා, okay, 1 billion project එකක් කියලා අපි හිතමු උදාහරණයක් විදිහට. $1 billion. Okay, $1 billion. So $1 billion project එකක් ඒගොල්ලොන් design කරනවා. ඒ project එක ඇතුලේ එක activities තියෙනවා, donations තියෙනවා, trainings තියෙනවා, ඒ කියන්නේ student kids related ඒගොල්ලන්ට කරන පොඩි පොඩි දේවල් තියෙනවා. So ඔය ඔක්කොම include කරලා they are designing a project with worth 1 billion. And in that 1 billion, my dear friends, remember, right? I mean, we think 70% out of 1 billion allocated for the project and 30% allocated for the administration expenditure and all these things. Actually, it is the other way around. It is the other way around. So, I mean, as per the chat I had with, about 40% in real term, they allocate for the project. Which means if they get the donor fund up to 1 billion US dollars, only 400 million US dollars allocate for the project. Others they keep for administration, operation, and all these things, and they are keeping a reserve also in case the projects are not there for them to survive. So in case the projects are not there for them to survive, it is like our profit, right? It is simply like our profit. So, and also remember, now those are non-taxable things. And also those funds are coming from global sources. And also those things are funded in massive scale, since those are CSR or the charity or PR or you name whatever. So that part is huge. That part is huge. So that also add values to the, I mean, though they don't have shareholders, stakeholders inside the organization, people, those who are working in those organizations. Now their personal developments, their salaries, their packages and everything far better than the average commercial sector sometimes. So this is where you got to look at, right? So I mean, things are like that. අපි profit oriented වලදී විතරක් නෙමෙයි අපි මේවා earn කරන්නේ. NGOs NPOs කියලා කියන්නේ, right? They are earning a huge amount of money, right? Which sometimes even certain organizations, certain NGOs, I mean, do not disclose the funding sources. But now the regulations are there. Previously, it was not disclosed, the funding sources. And now the regulations have placed to identify the sources. Now those things are there. So it's like that, my dear friends. So it's pretty challenging. So what I wanted to tell, finally, අපි බලන්නේ අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකට බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් ඕන කෙනෙක් විදිහට ඒ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකට අදාළ රිටර්න් එක අපිට තියෙනවද කියන එක. If that is not there, no point of investing for a business with a risk, right? So look at the first step of the brand value chain, the marketing program investment, right? So brand එක අපි මුලින්ම කතා කරේ මොකද්ද? positioning එකට ගෙනියන්න ඕනේනේ. අපි positioning team එක හදන්න ඕනේ. positioning message එක හදන්න ඕනේ. brand එකේ තියෙන values ටික අපි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. brand එකේ purpose එක core competencies මොනවද කියන එක අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ. So with that only we need to start campaign, right? So with that only we need to design our product, modify our product, so inline all the staff members and whatever the resources inline with that. So what do? We need to run the brand marketing programs. And for that, we need to improve. And remember, in this model, the value chain, remember, there are some multipliers. Multipliers are mainly to enhance this effort, what you do to bring it to this level. Now, you can just do it. Not that you can't. But if you talk about the branding and the brand value chains, you have to have some kind of a multipliers to differentiate yourself among the competition available in the market. So you can run marketing programs, you can design products, you can run communication campaign. So unless those products are unique, distinctive, and relevance, right? So look at. And unless your marketing communication campaign properly integrated, you will not be able to get the better output of it. So these multipliers are basically enhancing each and every steps of the value chain. So you will run the communication campaign, but if the communication campaign is not proper integrated communication campaign, ඒක integrate කරන්න නැතුව proper integrated marketing communication campaign එකක් නෙමෙයි නම් ඒක effectiveness එක නෑ. These multipliers are basically to enhance the effectiveness, right? You will design the product. The product is there, but if the values are not there, as expected by the consumer, so no point of having those products. It will be just a product. It will not be a brand after that. You identify the difference between the product and the brand. So product එක කරයි, but එතනින් එහාට මොකද්ද? So you got to identify this, my dear friends. So නිකම්ම run කරන එක නෙමෙයි මේ value chain එකෙන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ. The brand එකක් විදිහට යනවා නම් මේ multipliers එක්ක අපි වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ multipliers එක්ක අපි මේ campaign එක ගෙනියන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් අපි enhance කරන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම තැන් වල enhancement එකකට යන්න ඕනේ. So then only we can see. So with this brand marketing programs, what we are running here, what happens? So we create the customer mindset. We are trying to get into the customer mindset, the brand positioning කියලා කතා කරේ අපි ඒකනේ. මේ value chain එකේ අපි positioning වලට ලොකු දෙයක් එතන දෙනවා. අපි first step එක අපි මේ කතා කරන්නේ. මේ positioning කරන්න එක positioning වලට අනේක තමයි අපි කෙවින් ලේන් කියලාගේ first model එකේදී කතා කරේ equity development model එකේදී. එහෙනම් why we do all these things, brand marketing programs, to capture the mindset. මේ මිනිසුන්ගේ ඔළුවට ගහන්න කියලා කියන්නේ පොල්ලක් කරගෙන ගහනවා නෙමෙයි. I mean to say. So මේ මිනිසුන්ගේ mind එකට අපේ brand එක ගහන එක තමයි අපේ target එක තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් awareness එක, right? Brand එකත් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලෝගේ life එකේ තියෙන association එක, connection එක, why this brand is important to you, attitude of the brand, right? Some personality of the brand, attachment, and all these things. build the mindset of the customer, my dear friends. Right? So මෙන්න මේ mindset එක build කරාට පස්සේ, right? එතනින් තමයි අපිට performance බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට අපි mindset එක strongly build කරගත්තා නම්, liking, preferences, convictions වැඩි කරා නම්, if we can increase the liking ratio, if we can increase the preferences ratio, if we can increase the conviction ratio, decision making towards your brand, the conviction කියලා කියන්නේ යන්නේ ඒක, decision making towards your brand, ඒ ratios වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් නම්, ආසාව වැඩි brand එකට ආස කරන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් නම්, preference එක brand එකට දෙන, ඒ කියන්නේ options ගොඩක් තියෙනකොට අපේ brand එකට preference දෙන ratio එක වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් නම්, conviction brand එක focus කරන decision ගන්න customers ලා වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් නම්, then that is where we are talking about. So that is why we do all integrated marketing campaigns and build a mindset towards the brand. මේ ඔක්කොම enhance කරලා multipliers දාලා enhance කරලා අපි ගන්න කොතනටද? ඔන්න ඕක අපි වැඩි කරන්න ඕනේ. So remember, with this we can expect the performance. මේක හරියට නිකන් funnel එකක් වගේ, right? හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න, මේක හරියට නිකන් පුනීල් එක shape එක තියෙන. awareness එක තියෙන කට්ටිය උඩම ඉන්නවා, ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා. නමුත් awareness එක තිබ්බට like කරන කට්ටිය, like කියන්නේ මේ Facebook එකේ ගිහලා like එක ඔබන එක නෙමෙයි, I mean to say, right? Those who really like the brand, I mean less than the people those who really aware. දැන් මම දන්න හැම brand එකකටම මම ආස කරන්නේ නැහැනේ. You ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්න හැම brand එකකටම ඕගොල්ලෝ ආස කරන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් brands දන්නවා. So awareness is high, but the likings, right? So ආසාව තියෙන හැම brand එකකටම අපි decision එක දෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. So ආසාව තියෙන හැම brand එකකටම decision එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ, because we are looking at so many other factors when we are purchasing the brand. You know, so conviction එක තවත් අඩු වෙනවා. එහෙනම් මේ awareness එක උඩින් වැඩි වෙලා එහෙම තමයි අපිට එන්නේ, අපිට අපේ brand එකට අදාළ කට්ටිය filter වෙලා අපේ පැත්තට එන්නේ. So you got to identify this. So getting into the mindset with these activities are so important. එතකොට ඒ performance කියලා කියන්නේ අන්නේ ඒකයි. ඒ return එක අපිට එන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. Right? So we improve the we are getting and we are improving the market performance, right? So I mean, even with this, right? Now look at when you run campaigns, when you get into the consumer's mindset, okay? So look at the customer multipliers, the competitor reactions, preferences, convictions, right? Preferences, convictions, competitive reactions, okay, customer අපිට ගන්න ඕනේ අපේ පැත්තට preferences. Customer පුළුවන් වෙනුනේ decision එක ගන්න අපේ product එකට, අපේ brand එකට, convictions. So you get this, right? අපේ if my brand is a pull brand, my channel will support to sell the brand because it is very easy. Now channel management එකට, when you really look at the channel management කියලා කියන්නේ intermediary operation එකනේ. එතකොට intermediary operation එකේදී channel එකක් කියලා කියනවා retail වෙන්න පුළුවන්, wholesalers වෙන්න පුළුවන්, distributors ඔය වගේ ඒගොල්ලෝ. හරිද? එතකොට now retailer will buy the product if we can easily sell and if we can get better margin. Easy selling, better margin. Easy selling කියලා කියන්නේ pull product එකක් නා. Aggressively push කරන්නේ නැති, customer අහන product යන retailer will buy the product. It's very easy for them. And if the margin is also high, they will buy the product. They will not give an extensive push and sell your brand, because they are not the brand owners. They are just channels. But channel will support if the awareness is there, association is there, attitudes towards the brand and the brand attitudes are there, attachment with the life and the activities consumers are taking. With all these things, pull like a create towards the brand. The pull will be created. So based on that, the channel will support you to push the brand. So with this, right, you can even enhance your margins, right? So may profitability වැඩි කරගන්න. You can easily do it. So see, then with that, what happens? So the people will I mean demanding the product. So your growth will be there. So remember, it is not easy, right? Okay, when you are performing, you're getting a huge threat. So when you perform, who is getting the competition? Remember, only the competition gives to the brands that are performing. කවුද brand fake කරන්නේ? දැන් fake brands එන්නේ ඔක්කොම හොඳ brands වලටනේ. කවදාවත් ඕගොල්ලෝ brand එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් මම brand එකක් අද release කරා නම් හෙට කවුරු හරි මගේ brand එක fake කරනවද? No. I mean, let's say as example, I have a brand which is already built over a period and it's a full brand. And the people might look at, okay, that brand is having a good equity. අපි ඕකෙන් මොනවා හරි ඕක use කරලා මොනවා හරි දෙයක් කරමු කියලා. Then අපි ගත්තොත් එම fashion brands, Puma, Nike, Giordano, Adidas, Under Armour. How many fake brands? Watches, the Casio fake, right? Seiko fake, Rolex fake, Tagua fake. How many? So like that. On the brands වලට ඒ වගේ competitions එනවා. So you need to make sure to play with those challenges, right? So you need to adjust yourself with the market dynamics. Market dynamics in the sense what? Now the environment is keep on changing. මම හැමතිස්සෙම කියනවා. මේ market environment එක keep on changing. The market which was there yesterday is not the market today. අද වෙනස්. එහෙනම් වෙනස් වෙන මේ environment එක ඇතුලේ you should be able to play as a brand effectively. If so only you can survive. So you should basically adjust agility and the adaptability. How strong you are agile and address the market changes. Adaptability, how strong you can adapt yourself to the changes in the market. So ඔනවා තමයි dynamics වලට අපි reactions කරන විදිය. Right? Risk එක අපි identify කරනවා. I told you, I mean, like these risk factors, the scenario analysis එකට යනවා. Scenarios, the market trend patterns තියෙනවා. Scenarios අපිට opportunities එනවා scenarios විදියට. So we need to identify those things and then only we can increase the shareholders value. Now all these things, my dear, step by step when you look at that improve the brand values. මේ shareholder value කියලා කිව්වම අදහස් කරන්න එපා only the stock price එකේ නැත්නම් share price earning ratio එක ඒවයි කියලා ඉවල. No, because you finally talk about the brand values increasing. So share price එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ හොඳ brands වල. Stock price එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ හොඳ brands වල. Market capitalization එක ඒ කියන්නේ total number of shares into one price of one share වැඩි වෙන්නේ හොඳ brands වල. So ඒක වැඩි වෙන්නේ brand equity එක වැඩි නම් විතරයි. So this value chain is the approach what you all should look into if you are to improve the equity of the brand. So this model can be tested at the exam, right? Kevin Lane Keller's brand value chain. I will include this into the name, right? Kevin Lane Keller's brand value chain. So any question there? Make a තේරුණාද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට? Anyone is having any questions there? Light ගිහිල්ලාද කොහෙද කට්ටියකනේ? මාත් කතා කරගෙන ගියා 3 දෙනා ඉන්නේ. Any question there? සමාධි තේරෙනවද? නිසංස? Anyone is having any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clear the නිසංසලා මේක?
Clear, sir.
හැමතිස්සෙම example එකකට set කරගන්න මේක. Right, even your link natural අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඔයා පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න මේ link natural එකත් එක්ක යනකොට ඇත්තටම මේ දේවල් වෙනවද? දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම right, marketing programs affect වෙනවද customer ගේ awareness එකට? මේක හරියට අපි multipliers use කරනවා. multipliers මෙතන ඇත්තටම energy එක දෙන්නේ, remember මේ multipliers වලින් තමයි energy එක දෙන්නේ මේකට. නැත්තම් අපිට නිකන් ඔය දේවල් කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් බැරි කමක් නැහැ. But if you are talking about a brand equity development, you have to give some kind of a punch to this, some kind of an energy to this using these multipliers. එතකොට තමයි ඒකේ effectiveness එක පුළුවන් තරම් වැඩි. So look at a particular brand and see. එතකොට ලේසි මේකට මේ match කරගෙන යන්න මේ දේවල් වෙනවද ඇත්තටම නැත්තම් කොතනද අඩු උනේ. So this is also one of the auditing tool actually what we use. අපි උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් අපි scenario එක audit කරනවා. audit කරවන අපේ marketing programs අපි adjust කරනවා. But ඒ marketing programs ඇතුලේ අපි කොච්චර දුරට distinctive කොච්චර දුරට අපි අපේ අර කැපිලා පේන ගතිය අපි ගේනවද මිනිස්සුන්ගේ මයින්ඩ් එකට ගෙනියන්න මේක. So like that, now if you all can recall Sensodyne advertisement, okay, now people sensitive tooth කියලා කියපු ගමන් Sensodyne කියලා කියනවා, right? But who created that mindset, that distinctiveness and the relevance? Who create the brand owners, the brand campaign created that. Otherwise, people didn't know. No? So this is where you need to look at. So it's a mindset එක sensitive tooth කියලා කියපුවම doctors ලා කියන Sensodyne ගන්න, Sensodyne ගන්න. Right? So things like that. So you got to identify. ඒතර බලන්න මේ product එකත් එක්ක මේවා කළා බලන්න කියන්නේ කොච්චර දුරට උගලොන්ගේ product එකේ මේ flow එක යනවද කියලා. I mean, I'm not saying you have to memorize it. කටපාඩම් කරනවා නෙමෙයි, but look at මොකද මේ දැන් අර exam එකට එනකොට සමහරවිට MCQs වලට එනකොට මේක swap කරලා එන්න පුළුවන්. මේකේ fill in the blanks වගේ එන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් වෙන විදියට question එකක් design වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? අපි උදාහරණයක් විතර ගත්තොත් එහෙම values Kevin Lane Keller's value chain, how what are the multipliers will support for marketing program to bring a proper positioning. What are the multipliers, right? You can talk about making relevance, right? Combining all the activities, integration, value additions, and all these things. So එක විදියට එන්න පුළුවන් questions උනත් එනකොට, right? But generally more than question and answer එකට යනවට වඩා මේකේ practical side එක බලන්න අපි මේක කොච්චර දුරට capture කරගෙන අපේ මේ brand එකත් එක්ක යනවද කියන එක තමයි mainly බලන්න. So any question, anyone is having any questions here? Chandana, I think you halfway you joined. So what about Dulaj? You have any questions there? Chandana, are you clear with this? You must sometimes have done
Yes,
this. You're okay, right?
I was while traveling. I joined actually.
Yeah, that's it. Why power cut?
No, I was on a trip with family.
Ah, seriously? Okay. So you're still on the trip or the return?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Right. But anyway, because we need to, why I told Sinal, because we need to discuss the structure of the assignment. So after this, I'll be taking that. Then it is easy for you all to do the assignment. Then we can finish it off. So Dulaj, you have any questions? They are from this model.
Clear, sir.
Clear, no? Right. Samadhi, what about you? Samadhi, what about you?
Questions are all clear.
All clear. Okay, good. Right. Then the final step, the growing and sustaining the brand equity. This is important. අපි සමහරලාට මෙන්න මෙතන තමයි ගොඩක් ඒගොල්ලෝ වරද්ද ගන්න තැන. වරද්ද ගන්න තැන කියලා කියන්නේ අමතක කරන තැන. Sometimes you run a huge campaign and suddenly you stop. The moment you stop, what will happen? People might get sometimes confused. The people might think, okay, it is no more there. It is no more there, right? So that is pretty dangerous. So being silent from the market continuously for a longer period might bring confusions for the client. So you need to have the continuity to build the brand equity, because you can't lose whoever the customers attracted to the brands. So your intention should be to maintain those clients to the brand. Keep those clients and increase the numbers for future. So that should be the intention. So you need to identify this. So I mean, continuity should be there. And when you look at the continuity, okay, you should be able to design your brand strategy by looking at the product mix, the brand product mix, and the brand hierarchy. And I was talking about the word brand hierarchy there previously. So brand product mix එක ගැන clear idea එකක් අපි let me show you this, right? Brand product mix එක අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම part of Unilever products I have taken here. So you need to look at, okay, මගේ මේ brands වලයි products වලයි combination එක කොහොමද යන්නේ? Then when you line up all these things, you know, okay, shampoo products මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Soap products මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Complete brand product mix එක. Sometimes you might, if you don't have a proper idea about this category classification, the product brand classification, you might overlap your own strategies, my dear friends. You might sometimes use, example, make a වෙච්ච එකක් නෙමෙයි. අපි හිතමු Dow and Lux being being two brands that are coming from Unilever, and you might overlap. Dow is to a premium side, but Lux is to a kind of a moderate and upper middle kind of a segment. But Dow is to a upper segment, upper income segment, if I put it in that way. So if you completely forget the mix of this, sometimes if you are the brand manager of Lux and someone else is the brand manager of Dow, and you might duplicate what the Dow is doing, or Dow might duplicate what the Lux is doing. So this category and the brand product matrix you might have if you are handling multiple brands and multiple products. So that is one thing. That is one thing. And when you look at the brand portfolio, so, I mean, this is Nestle ones, okay? Now, you got to have, this is not actually in the Sri Lankan context, okay? So, some are there already in Sri Lanka, some are not there in Sri Lanka. So, you got to have all these, the products that are coming under the company. Then you can identify, okay, මේ category එකේ මේ portfolio එකේ මේ category එකේ මේවා තියෙනවා. මේ category එකේ මේවා තියෙනවා. Then you can identify them, right? You can identify them. Perfume නම් මේවා, chocolate නම් මේ category එක, right? Malted නම් මේ category එක, right? Milk powder නම් මේ category, මේ milk powder category එකේ මේවා තමයි brands. So brand portfolio, you got to have a clear idea, right? So without them, you can't design your brand equity management, because you might duplicate and the consumer might get confused. You might duplicate and the consumer might get confused. So this is where the dangerous part, right? So the brand hierarchy, though the chart is not there, the brand hierarchy even you can take. Okay, I mean, under shampoo category, what are the things? Okay, hierarchy. Hierarchy, yeah, shampoo. එනම් feminine masculine අපි හිතමු දෙකක් තියෙනවා කියලා male female shampoo කියලා. එහෙනම් ඒ දෙක. එහෙනම් feminine එකේ ඕකේ තියෙනවා anti dandruff. හරි මොනවා හරි. That hierarchy, you should have a clear idea. That graphical view will give you a complete understanding on the activities what you can take it. ඒතර මේ sustaining steps යන්න නැතුව you can't do. And also you need to make sure, my dear friends, to have tactical plans for a shorter period and a strategic plan for a longer period when it comes to the brand equity development. දැන් අපේට ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන අපි tactical plans සමහර වෙලාවට ගන්නවා, long term strategic plans අඩු වෙනවා. සමහර companies වල we have seen the long term strategic plans are there, but tactical plans are missing to in line with the long term strategic plan. ඒ දෙකම important. මොකද අපි ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකක් ඩිසයින් කළොත්, ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ප්ලෑන් එකක් ඩිසයින් කළොත් අවුරුදු 5කට මෙහෙම කියලා we have to break it into small time frames and design our tactical plans for the brand. එතකොට ඒ tactical plans inline වෙලා තමයි connect වෙලා එකකට එකක් connect වෙලා තමයි final long term strategic plan එකට යන්නේ. So you got to have a clear idea about this tactical and the strategic approach, right? So you should have an idea about the geographical boundaries. Then api brand එක now, let's say as an example, if you are taking this brand into a multinational, I mean, in the sense the overseas market, right? Different country. So how are we going to implement our strategies? So when we do international marketing, you can see entry strategies and how Pestel is working in global context, right? So what are the strategies? Are we talking in the same language? Are we bringing different product modifications? Now, උදාහරණයක් විදිහට as an if you look at the McDonald's, right? McDonald's and Burger King, they don't have, originally they didn't have rice. They are burgers. They are burgers from USA, right? But to meet the Sri Lankan palate, right? Sri Lankan customer flavors. So they customize the product to meet the Sri Lankan culture, right? So those things you got to identify, right? Those things you got to identify, right? So එකම product එකේ segment classification එක. Now McDonald's, Burger King, the companies like that playing it in a big way, and even Unilever company like the Dettol and all these products, the kids ලට මෙහෙම McDonald's ගත්තොත් අපි Happy Meal එක kids ලට තියෙනවා. අර ඒ වගේ category, not the category, rather products are there, the segments clearly identified and approach with the range of product mix under the umbrella brand. So you got to identify this. මේ හැම segment එකකම හැම culture එකකම sustain වෙලා යන්න පුළුවන්කම අපි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. So those things you got to focus when it comes for brand equity development. So Kevin Lane Keller is talking about these 4 steps in the equity development. Equity development. So those are the things we were talking about so far. Pretty challenging. It's not so easy as we say, but it's a continuous and it's an in-depth approach what we need to take here when we are doing it. Any questions, my dear friends? Anyone is having any questions? Anyone is having any questions there? Anyone is having any questions there? So a couple of articles are there, just read them. I'm saying. So with this brand equity measurements, we complete the module 1, right? Module 1 එක අපි complete කරනවා මේකත් එක්ක. So any questions? මෙම exam එකට ඔය history එකෙන් එහෙමනම් questions we can't, I don't think, right? මොකද ඒකෙන් නම් ලොකුවටම වැටිලා I can't remember the entire ratio anyway, but ලොකුවට history වලින් එන්නේ නැහැ, but generally you should have models වලින් අපි කතා කරපු models වලින් මේ දක්වා කතා කරා නම් මොනවා හරි model එකක් co-competency, AML co-competency, value chain එක ඒ වගේ අපි models කීපයක් කතා කරා. ඒවයින් generate වෙනවා questions by difference. ඒක ඒවා important. මොකද ඒවයින් තමයි questions එන්නේ. history එකෙන් එහෙමනම් very unlikely එකක් දෙකක් එන්න පුළුවන්, right? But very unlikely. Any questions? So if you are okay with that area, so I can look into the assignment today, because these things will be available from next week. So any questions you all have? But අතරම ඕනේ assignment එකේ structure එක හදන්න ඕගොල්ලොන් එක්ක. Any questions you all have? Sinhala, can you do me a small favor? Wait. ඔයා assignment එක දාලා තිබ්බ නේද WhatsApp group එකේ?
Yes, yeah.
Put in then okay. Let me open the assignment from my phone and do this. It's easy. Right, guys. What I'm going to do, මොකද මේ assignment එකේ structure එක අපි හදා ගන්නනේ. එහෙම structure එක හදාගත්තේ නැත්නම් අපි පොඩක් අනා ගන්නවා, right? එන්න ඕන පිළිවෙල. Let me open the assignment. Because if you don't do our structure properly, it will be a concern. Structure එක කියලා කියන්නේ මම හදන්නේ අතරම content page එක. ඒතර ඒ content page එකේ අපි ඕගලන්ට ඒ කියන්නේ මේ task 1 2 3 ඒ යන පිළිවෙල ගන්නට structure කරලා ගමු. මොකද නැත්තම් මේ it will be a I mean you might get confused. Content page එක ඔක්කොංගෙම එක වගේ උනායි කියලා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ because that is the structure නේ. Right? That, but don't write the same thing what I'm bringing here. I will just do a draft one here so that you all can do it. So if you all have the assignment, can you all take the assignment out? මට මෙතනින් miss වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ miss වුණොත් එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න පුළුවන්. Can you all take the assignment? Group එකේ WhatsApp group එකේ තියෙනවා assignment එක. I also took it from there. Anyone who doesn't have the assignment, give a quick raise hand. Assignment එක නැති කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? සමහරවල් group messages bulk pitting එකපාරටම දාලි වල clear all දානවනේ. එහෙමත් සිද්ධ තියෙනවා. clear all දාපු ගමන් ඕන message එකක් යනවා, නැති message එකක් යනවා, ඔක්කොම යනවා. Okay, everybody is having the assignment නේ. හරි. Guys, මම මේ structure එක හදන්නේ because we need to have professional output in the assignment. මොකද එතනින් තමයි අපි score කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. So first thing, right? First thing, you need to have in your assignment, you need to have acknowledgement. Mame, okay. Wait. Sinhala, have you shared the student declaration and everything? Have you all shared? තියෙනවනේ දාලා මේකේ මේ assignment supporting guideline එකේ ඒක තියෙනවනේ. Sena? Yeah, I think it is there. Okay. Student declaration. And declaration is there. Okay. These are not main documents, remember. Student declaration is there where you sign. Okay. Then acknowledgement. Make a must naha, but since it's an academic document, okay, since it's an academic document, we need better have it since it's an academic document. So you thank all the I mean, if you were talking to someone from your company or some other company to get information, thank them. You can thank the faculty, you can thank the institute, you can thank your parent, whoever. Acknowledgement. And then the executive summary. This is must. Executive summary should be there. හරිද? එතකොට මීට අමතරව තියෙනවා නම් list of figures, right, and illustrations. ටික යන්න ඕනේ. Right? Bibliography referencing ඔක්කොම අන්තිමටම එන්නේ. ඔය ටික තියෙනවා. So ඕකෙන් පස්සේ එන්නේ අපේ main numbers. Right? ඕකෙන් පස්සේ අපේ එන්නේ main numbers. Right? So line up කරගන්න එක කරගමු පස්සේ. Right? ඔය ටික ඔක්කොම මේවා කළේලා proper line up එකකට යමු පස්සේ. නැත්නම් මේක අපිට මේ විදිහට line up කරගන්න පුළුවන් issue එකක් නැහැ. Right? ඔතනින් පස්සේ main numbers. Now we are entering into the assignment. Okay? Now we are entering into the assignment. Now this assignment is having 3 tasks. 1 2 2 නේ. 3ක් තියෙනවා. 3 tasks are there. So අපි මෙතන කවදාවත් assignment එකක බව සමහර ඒවා දැකලා තියෙනවා හරි layman. මේක මේ task 1 task 2 task 3 කියලා ලියන්න එපා. Because that approach is very layman approach. Right? That approach is very layman approach. So you don't have to write like that. මෙන්න මේ විදිහට පොඩක් line up එක හදන්න. Right? එතකොට ඒක පිළිවෙලකට ගන්නට ඔක්කොම එක කෙලින් තියෙයි. Right? Okay, whatever. ඒක පොඩක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හදාගන්න settings නේ. හරිද? එතකොට මේකේ task 1 task 2 task 3 කියලා ලියන්න එපා කවදාවත්. මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ පටන් ගන්න your wording should be taken from the tasks and the sub points which is given here. Okay? So the first thing, right? Identify the company of your choice. Okay, you can do like this. Okay. Now, anyway, the task one comes along with the introduction. No? So you can change it. I might say, okay, introduction to the organization and the branding or branding perspectives, since it's an introductory part. Task one again. Task one kila liyan depa because it's very layman approach. So you can say introduction to, forget about the spellings, okay? Introduction to the project introduction, right? You can say project introduction. Project introduction කියලා එතන දාලා ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ යටතේ so මෙන්න මේ guys when you look at this මේක පුළුවන් තරම් පිළිවෙලකට හදාන්න, right? ඒකේ යටතේ then you talk about alright, okay, what introduction to the organization. Introduction to the organization. Then when you look at introduction to the organization, that 2-page document you have to do. So මේක ඇතුලේ ඕගොල්ලෝ subtopic කතා කරන්න ඕන නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Now here you talk about organization name, right? You can show that perfectly okay, right? Name of the organization. Then you talk about financial summary of the business. So like that. ඔන්න ඔය item ටික add කරගෙන යන්න. Item ටික add කරගෙන යන්න. Then you can get some kind of an idea, okay, how it is done කියන එක. How it is done කියන එක. Right? So ඒක මේවා කරගෙන යන්න. එතකොට දැන් අපි තව ගත්තොත් එහෙම financial summary, then competitors, competitor analysis, market segments. So like that, තාමනා හරි තියෙනවා නම් ඔගොල්ලෝ බලලි ඉවර වෙලා, right? මේ ඒවා add කරගෙන යන්න. So ඒක. එතකොට දැන් අපි තාම ඉන්නේ introduction එක කියන task 1 එක project introduction එකේ තමයි අපි තාම ඉන්නේ. එතකොට ඒකේ part 2 ගත්තොත්, ඒකේ part 2 වල යන්නේ identify the organization's brand positioning, right? එතන අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් current situation analysis, right? Present එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් because they say identify the present organization's brand positioning approach along with මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ideas දෙන්න, right guys? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ideas දෙන්න මම මේ assignment එක කියවන ගමන් කරන්නේ. Identify the present organization's brand positioning approach along with key attributes of the business and personality of the brand using theories and okay. Now they talk about certain elements, but the present condition of the brand, right? So අපිට මේක දාන්න පුළුවන් current, analyzing the current condition of the brand. Brand elements. Api brand audit නෙමෙයිනේ. Brand elements. So you're analyzing the current condition of certain brand elements, right? එතකොට ඒකේ යටතේ assignment එකේ අහනවා they're asking the brand positioning. What are the current brand positioning? Current brand positioning අහනවා. ඊට පස්සේ key attributes අහනවා. Then brand personality අහනවා. Yeah, mainly අහන්නේ ඔය තුන. Identify the present organization brand positioning approach, then along with the key attributes, and brand personality. Yeah. ඔයිට අමතරව වෙන මොනවා හරි තියෙනවද? Guys, can you all check and let me know? Anything I missed there? Chandan, anything I missed there? Nisansala, Samadhi. Dulaj, anything I missed there? Segmentation තිබ්බේ උඩනේ. Nisansala, anything we missed there? හැමතිස්සෙම බලන්න guys, look at key subject areas also, right? දැන් මෙතන අපේ stakeholder. It's like this, remember. Examiner assignment එක අතට ගත්තාම examiner feel වෙන්න ඕනේ you all have taken a proper approach කියන එක. එතකොට ඒ content එක දැක්කහම content එක complete නම් study areas ටිකත් එක්ක සහ question එක you might make silly mistakes inside, but sometimes අර 69 ඉඳලා 70 වැටෙන අර merit එක distinction කරන ලකුණු දෙකක් අඩුයි. Sometimes examiner might relook at again your assignment and identify okay, proper structure is there. මේ ලකුණු දෙක සමහරලාට ඕගොල්ලන්ට වාසි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් distinction එක excellent performance වෙන 78ක් තියෙනවා 80 පැන්න නම් excellent performance. right? එහෙ නැත්නම් 49ක් තියෙනවා ලකුණක් නැහැ මේ pass වෙන්න assignment එක. එහෙනම් ආයි පාරක් ගෑ. I mean examiner won't fail you unless you are a real dumb case, right? ධම්ම assignment එකක් නම් තමයි fail වෙන්නේ. එහෙම නැතුව very unlikely fail වෙන එක. ඉතින් අර දැන් අපි sales marketing එකේදී උනත් සමහර ළමයි assignment ඇත්තටම fail වුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ 49 වුණත් සමහර marks දෙන්න බෑ. සමහරලාට examiner බලනවා කොහෙන්ද add කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා සමහරලාට දෙන්න බෑ. So redo the assignment. Right, redo කළා time එකක් දෙනවා තව සති දෙකක් වගේ දීලි වෙලක, but no point එහෙම වුණාම, right? So do right at the first time. The task 1 එක අපි ගත්තොත් did we miss anything? නිසංසලා අපි මේකේ මොනවා හරි මිස් වුණාද අපිට? නිසංසලා are you there? මොනවා හරි අපිට මිස් වුණාද මෙතන? Financial task 1 part 1.
No, sir.
Nisansala, where do you stay?
No, sir. No, sir.
Are you on the road? Huh?
Near the road.
Okay. Where do you stay, is it? කොහෙද ගෙවල් තියෙන්නේ?
පාදුක්ක.
පාදුක්කේ උච්චර වාහන යනවද?
මේන් රෝඩ් එකට ටිකක් වගේ.
okay. පාදුක්කේ කොහෙද ඉන්නේ?
ටවුන් නෙමෙයි ටිකක් ඇතුළට යන්න.
ඉංගිරිය පැත්තට?
ඔව් ඉංගිරිය.
but nice area නේ.
Yes, sir.
පාදුක්කයි ඉංගිරියයි අතර නම් ලස්සනයි මේ පැත්ත. Did we miss anything? Dulaj, Chandana, අපි මොනවා හරි miss වුණාද මෙතන? I'm just checking. I'm just doing the draft here. ඕගොල්ලෝ බලන්න, right? ආයි පාරක් බලලා miss වුණොත් මොනවා හරි area එකක් ඒක මේ check කරන්න. So task 1 ඔය ටිකයි ඊට අමතරව මොනවා හරි තියෙනවද කියලා බලලා just make it. Now we are coming into the task 2. Right? Task 2 එක අපි ගත්තොත් now task 2 okay, I mean on top of the task 2 they said the brand identity and image for reputation. So we can take it there. Right? Brand identity and image for reputation. Right? Brand identity and image for reputation. So okay යටතේ තමයි අනිත් task එන්නේ. Right? Sorry, reputation. What is this? Okay. Right, reputation. So ඒකේ අටතේ you look at the first one, task one. Nisansala, read the task one. Nisansala, read the task one. Samadhi, read the task two. Nisansala, read task one. දැන් තමයි assignment එක අතේ නැති වුණා මාට්ටු වෙන්නේ. Nisansala, read task one.
Yes, sir.
Assignment එක ළඟ නැද්ද කොහෙදනේ?
තියෙනවා sir.
නෑ අම්මපා. right. සමාධි ලෑස්ති කරගන්න task 2 වලට. දුලාජ් ගියා. දුලාජ් ගියාම assignment එක නැද්ද? දුලාජ් left. Right. Okay. Read the first task 2 part 1.
Assess the existing corporate brand identity and image which help the target market to organize the company, which helps build the reputation of the business.
Okay. Etana, now we are talking about Chandana, correct if we miss anything, okay? Thank you, Nisansala. අපි මොනවා හරි මිස් වුණොත් capture කරගන්න. අපි එතන කතා කරන්නේ assess the existing corporate brand identity. They are looking at okay, existing corporate brand identity. Remember, now here we need to identify that existing corporate brand identity. Guys, don't get confused. Corporate brand identity and the individual product brand identity is two different things. John Keels කියලා කියන්නේ corporate name එක, Softlogic corporate name එක, Single corporate name එක අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම, right? So valuable corporate name එක, individual brands එකේ යටතේ තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? So you got to identify clearly. හරිද? එතකොට මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ assess the existing corporate brand identity. Okay, we can say existing අපිට මේව පොඩක් ඒක ඇසස් කරනවායි කියන එක මෙයා නැත්නම් we can say visualizing the existing corporate brand identity, right? අනිත් එක තමයි we have seen assignments, right? අර layman headings වලින් කවදාවත් කරන්න බෑ project report එකක් යනකොට. layman නිකන් brand identity. It's the layman wording, right? එහෙනම් මේක අපි කරන්නේ මොකද්ද කියන එක topic එකෙන් කියන්න. You have to show, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this topic area කියන එක. So visualizing the existing corporate brand identity. So that part, brand identity part covered. So then you look at the image. Can say just without brand image, without saying just brand image, and understanding the current brand image. You can say like that, understand the current brand image. That help for reputation. මම reputation කියන එක දැනට පොඩ්ඩක් තියලා මම දෙවෙනි එකත් කියෝලි ඉවරලා reputation එකට යනවා. දෙවෙනි එකත් කියෝලි ඉවර වෙලා reputation එක අපි දාන්නේ කොතනටද කියලා decide කරමු. Samadhi, read the second part of the task 2. Samadhi. චන්දන trip එකක ඉන්නේ ඉඳ it's not fair telling him powder. Samadhi. මේ සමාධියලා සත පහකට විශ්වාස කරන්න බැහැ. මේ මාකටිං එකේදීත් ඔහොම නැහැ. ක්ලාස් එකේ ඉන්නේ නැහැ නේ. සමාධිය ආයුධය. නෑ. Right, okay, look at the task 2. Task 2 part 2, visualize the existing emotional values and the functional values of the corporate brand that will enhance the corporate brand equity. Okay, අපි reputation කියන වචනේ උඩට ගමු, right? No, equity and reputation එක අපි පල්ලෙහාටම ගමු, අන්තිමටම ගමු. මේකත් ඉවර කළා, right? එතකොට 2.8 අපි මේක ගමු Okay, we are visualizing the corporate brand now. Wait. Corporate brand analysis කියලා දාලා මේක අපි point 2 විදියට ගමු. එතකොට 2.1 වල ඒක task 2 part 1 වල part 2 එක ඔය විදියට ආවා. Then the part 2 එකේදී task 2 part 2 වල visualize the existing emotional values. Okay. Emotional and functional values of corporate brand. Either list down emotional values and identified emotional identified anduragatta emotional values then identified functional values කියලා අපිට දාන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් task 1 and 2 වල major areas දෙක අපි cover කරා. Why? Okay, let me tell you why I didn't take the reputation over top. Actually, reputation and the equity are, I mean, when you have the better reputation, the equity is increasing. Even the emotional values and the functional values are improving the reputation. Even the identity and image improving the reputation. So it is one of the major area. So this I'm taking as one of the sub topic in the whole task 2. All right. හැබැයි මම මේ වචන දෙකම කනෙක්ට් කරනවා මෙතනදී. Okay. How identity and image okay. All these are activities ne. How branding elements and activities improve reputation and equity. Improve කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන් connect with. මොකද අපි improve කියලා දාන්න ඕනේ නැහැ මෙතනදී connect. මේ උඩේවත් එක්ක connect වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක අපි මෙතන ලියනවා. එතකොට ඒකට අදාළ look at the key study area corporate versus product branding. Okay, corporate versus product branding. අපි එතන පොඩි wording එකක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. brand corporate brand analysis කියන එකට මේක මෙතනට පොඩි wording එකක් කියන්න පුළුවන්. corporate versus product branding කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන product identity and image අපි කතා කරනවා functional brand reputation කතා කරනවා. Okay. So main study points ටික අපි කතා කරනවා මෙතන. main study points ටික අපි කතා කරනවා. So it should go like this. It should go like this. It should go like this. පැහැදිලිද? Any question here? Chandana, are you clear with this approach?
Yes, yes.
මම මේ යන විදිය කරන්නේ. Okay.
Yeah.
මේ ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක ගහගත්තට පස්සේ මේක කරන්න ලේසි. නැත්තම් අර එතන පොඩි මේ ඊට පස්සේ it's like fill in the blanks. එනකොට මේ ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එකේ ඕගොල්ලෝගේ wording වලින් හදන්න. So then it will be okay. Now we are coming into the task 3. Task 3 is talking about brand planning and measuring. Okay. Then task 3 is talking about brand planning and measuring. Brand planning and measuring performance. There are 2 tasks under this task. There are 2 parts rather. Outline the factors and dimensions to be addressed. Comprehensive brand audit covering the. Okay, now here the task 3 part 1 talk about Then now they say outline the factors and dimensions to be addressed. Now they want us to outline the factors, okay, to be addressed in a comprehensive brand audit, covering the metrics to be used in the audit. Okay, right now we can talk about. They're asking us to outline, so we need to create a heading here. Chandra, what would be the heading we can use? Can we just say outline of the brand audit? Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, okay, you all can reword it. So, but you can say outline of okay, the comprehensive brand audit. අපිට ඒ විදිහට දාන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඒක ඇතුලේ තියෙන දේවල් ටික you all can talk about. Okay. ඒතර now once we do the comprehensive brand audit, ඒකේ තියෙන මොනවා හරි steps ටික you all can talk about here. Perfectly okay. But since we have not done the brand auditing part yet, so we don't have to we can write after that. Okay. Once we complete it. Brand auditing there. Showing the brand. Okay, let's look at the part 1 of task 3 once again. Outline the factors and dimensions. The factors and dimension, okay, to be addressed in a comprehensive brand audit. Our factors outline karana covering the metrics. Okay, there are our metrics. You can bring under subheadings over there. Perfectly okay. Then identify and measure the part 2 of task 3. Identify measures. It should be identify and measures. No, identify measures. Identify measures that can be used, that can be taken to evaluate the performance of the brand. Okay, so now we are looking at the brand performance evaluation, right? So there we talk about measures for brand and performance evaluation. Then අපි part 2 එක ගත්තා. අපි එතන කරන්නේ මොනවද? එක measures. එක metrics අපි කතා කරනවා එතනදී. Right? ROI, මේවද client profitability related metrics මේවා කතා කරනවා. So ඔය ටික අපි ඒ ටික කරාට පස්සේ එතනට add කරනවා. So look at the subject area have we missed. Brand audit එක අපි මෙතන කතා කරනවා. Measuring the brand performance, measuring the brand performance, okay, this is how, I mean, මොනහරි miss වෙලා තියෙනවා you have a look on them, right? මොනහරි miss වෙලා තියෙනවා first thing you got to do to prepare this structure, my dear friends. මේ ඔක්කොංගෙම පස්සේ overall conclusion. Overall conclusion එකක් දාන්න half a page fair enough. ලොකුවට ඕනේ. Right, half a page fair enough overall conclusion එකට, right? මොකද executive summary එකක් උඩින් යන හින්දා half a page conclusion is fair enough. So then referencing, then gestures තියෙනවා ඔය ටික තමයි යන්නේ. So this is the content. Right, make a may විදිය content එකක් තමයි you have to take it in your assignment. Can you quickly look at to see whether we have missed anything? Samadhi, are you there? Samadhi? Marketing class එකේදී තොමයි ප්‍රශ්න අහනකොට signal නැහැ සමාධිගේ. Look at with the assignment once again. I'm just checking from top to bottom once again. We put student declaration, okay, acknowledgement, executive summary, list of figures and illustrations, project introduction, okay, this is 2-page introduction, this 2-page introduction. Anything we missed? We have missed. Maybe we fill karamu me area karata passe. That's of course okay. No, right? We have covered almost everything. පැහැදිලිද මේ structure එක? Any question there, Chandana? You're okay with the structure? Samadhi, Nisansala,
Yep.
you're okay. Clear නේ? The structure එක. මෙහෙමයි. මේ දැන් මම ඔය දැන් එකපාරටම කියවගෙන ගිහිල්ලානේ මේක ගැහුවේ. So you all read it again. මෙතන අර wording එහෙම modify කරලා පිළිවෙලකට හදන්න. Once you have this structure, it is very easy. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ? structure එක එකපාරටම දවසක් අරගෙන හරි මේ structure එක හදාගත්තට පස්සේ ඔය structure එක copy කරන්න වෙන තැනකට ඊට පස්සේ it's like fill in the blanks. ඒකයි එතන තියෙන benefit එක structure එක හදාගන්න එකේ. So now you have the structure. දැන් මේ structure එක fill කරගෙන යන එක තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. data වලින්. I hope we have not missed. Yeah, I don't think we have missed, but just read it again. If මම මේකත් share කරන්නම් draft එකත් අපි කරපු මේකත් එක්ක බලලා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ approach එක හදන්න. හදලා ඉවර වෙලා you can start doing it after that. Any questions? Any questions? නිසංසලා පැහැදිලිද? සමාධි පැහැදිලිද?
Clear, sir.
සමාධි පැහැදිලිද? සමාධි clear කියලාවත් කියන්නේ නැහැ දැන්. Yeah, එච්චරයි. Okay. No, I mean we'll see it again. මම මේක I කරන්න පුළුවන්. So I'll share this with you all, right? මම මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට share කරන්නම් so that you all can keep this with you all. So any questions guys? Any questions? So module 1 අපි complete කරා. So module 1 එකෙන් generate වෙන questions I will share with you all, right? So that you can get an idea what type of questions you might get. ඒක share කරන්නම් කියලා කියන්නේ LMS එකට upload කරන්නම් so that you can practice and do. So any questions you all have? So no time to start the module 2 anyway. Module 2 start කරනවා නම් so it takes the module 2 CBB කතා කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ another model of Kevin Lane කියලා customer based brand equity එක කතා කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ it takes time once again. So any questions? If not, we can quit for the day. But make sure you get the assignment structure 100% ready with you by next week and start filling the blanks. මම ඔය අතරතුර මම ඔයගලන්ට මම draft එකක් හදලා එවන්නම් how you all should do the 2-page introduction to the company කියන එක. Right? මම ඒකේ පොඩි draft එකක් I will share with you all so that you all can get an idea okay කොහොමද මේක මේ 2-page document එක අපි හදන්නේ කියන එක. So එතකොට මේ part එකත් ඔයගලන්ට you can do with the company what you have selected. Okay. So shall we quit for the day? Then we'll meet up on next week then. Anything before we quit? Anything? Chandana, you okay? Guys, I'm taking this pattern with a reason. Na? May approach එක අපි ගෙනියන්නේ with a reason. Okay. මේ assignment pattern එක අපි ගෙනියන්නේ with a reason. I can't tell you the reason now, but you all will get to know very soon. Hopefully next week or week after, you all will get to know why we are basically training you all in this structure. So any questions, anything? Right, seems no. So we'll meet up in next week. By the time I will share this content page with you all so that you can move forward with that. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, Chandra. Right. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next week. Nisansala Samadhi?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Samadhi? Okay. Right. So we'll meet up in next week.